Can you hear the TV?
No.
Okay, cool. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Hoodie and Headband podcast show. It's your boy Bryce. I'm joined by no other than my brother,
Tariq.
Tariq. It's I guess midweek. I don't know. I was trying to figure that out the other day because Tuesday is what technically the third day of the week. You got 7 days of the week. Most people they listen in on Wednesdays whenever this goes on the audio um platform. So I mean, midweek checking. I guess. How you feeling, man?
I'll say it's midweek. I mean, we're recording Tuesday night, so we're going into Wednesday. Wednesday is in the middle of the week, the work week at least, uh, for 9 to 5ers, I guess. Um, but yeah, I'll say it's middle of the week. I'm doing great. Actually, honestly, I can't complain at all. Um, you know, playoffs have been great. WNBA season only a couple of days away. Just had the draft lottery. It's a draft lottery. Draft lottery. So a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to um, look forward to. I'm just excited about really everything. I'm excited about what the rest of the playoffs is going to look like. Um, it's definitely going in the opposite direction, especially in the Eastern Conference, going in the opposite direction of what everybody expected. And then just ready for the WNBA season to start. So yeah, ready for the real games. How about you, bro?
Oh, I might have to end this and restart it, bro, because this got 2 streams up, and I'm trying to stop this now before we get too carried away.
All right.
I'm stopping this. All right, there we go. We good now. Welcome back to another episode of the Hoodie Headband podcast show. It's your boy Bryce. I'm joined by no other than my brother
Tariq.
Tariq. It's the middle of the week. Um, okay, there we go. It's the middle of the week. How you doing, my boy?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain at all. Honestly, I'm doing great. If I can say that instead of good. Um, things are going well. With the playoffs, uh, one of the best playoffs we've had in a while. Um, I mean, the playoffs have been good for the last couple of years. People just act like it's not. This notion that
People don't
the
like
NBA
basketball,
isn't
man.
as good anymore is crazy. But WNBA season just a few days away, so the real game starts soon. NBA draft lottery was just a couple. Was just last night. So we got a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of rumors going around about different stuff. So um, yeah, the playoffs have been phenomenal. Knicks up 3-1. Pacers are up 3-1 and just made a huge run in the second quarter. To cut the lead down to 4. They were getting blown up for a minute, so could have a completely different Eastern Conference Finals than we expected to. Could be a rematch of last year's. I want to say it was the semis that they played, and then definitely want to send a shout out to Jason Tatum and well wishes. I ain't gonna lie, I was completely locked into that game last night. Like I was on the phone with my brother, Bryce knows, my boy Lil. I was on the phone with Lil, and I was going crazy the whole game. I'm watching Raw and I'm watching the Knicks game, and the we'll get more in depth, but just know I was like stupidly locked into that game for some reason. Um, but definitely hate to see Tatum go down, and especially with the game he was having, really answering everybody's, or I wouldn't say everybody, answering the naysayers' criticism. So it definitely sucked to see him go down. It was reported, I don't know, maybe about 3 hours ago at this point, that he has already had the surgery on the torn Achilles. So um, we definitely won't see him next season, but he's only 27, so we're definitely gonna wish for the best and hope that when he comes back, he's better than he is now. Um, and yeah, man, just definitely want to give a shout out to Jason Tatum, but want to give a shout out to the Knicks, the Pacers, the Thunder, and Nuggets series has been really fun. And then obviously with stuff going down, the Wolves and Warriors series hasn't been as fun. But um, I'm definitely enjoying the playoffs, and I can't wait for the WNBA season to start for the real games. How about you, bro?
Um, oh no, I've seen better days. I've seen worse days. I'll get through it though. As many of you can know, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. So yesterday was a tough day. Yesterday was a pretty tough day. Watching the draft lottery and watching Knicks, Celtics. Just not a good day to be a Nets fan. But other than that though, anyways, let's talk about this draft lottery. First thing on the agenda is this draft lottery. Um, also, it was bad to see Jason Tatum go down the way he did. May I add, hope praying for a speedy recovery for him. Um, had a crazy game last night up until that point. So just sucks to see him go down the way he did in that game after having such a terrific game for 3 quarters up until that point. Um, and we'll get into that game in a little bit, but I mean, yeah, no, I agree with you as well. The playoffs have been fun. Um, a topic that we talked about a couple years ago in terms of like playoff predictions and stuff like that. It's kind of coming into fruition at the moment. We're starting to see. Uh, but yeah, but no, draft lottery, as you guys may know, or if you've been, in case you've been living under a rock for the past 24 hours, the Dallas Mavericks have the number one overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. They already said that their intentions are to draft Cooper Flag with said pick, and this comes after them trading Luka Doncic for um, the trade package of Luka Doncic to the Lakers for in return Anthony Davis and I want to say Max Christie, and the third part of that trade didn't go through, but I know it was AD and Max Christie to Dallas. It was supposed to be Dalton Connect to whatchamacallit, to Charlotte
Charlotte.
for Mark Williams, but that part of the trade didn't go through due to Mark Williams' physical. But yeah, um, just I don't know. I guess I don't. It was a lot of talk yesterday, and I didn't really fully put my thoughts on how I feel, or just put my thoughts on the draft lottery in general. Um, but I guess aside from my personal thoughts and feelings of it, kind of thing that I took away from it was something that I mentioned on Twitter yesterday. Tariq made a point about like, oh, I don't know why these teams want their teams to lose so much and the tank's so bad, and it's like because it's not proven that it'll get them a top pick. The bottom two teams, the uh, Washington Wizards and the Utah Jazz, ended up with the fifth and the sixth pick, respectively. Um, so they didn't finish in the top four. The top four picks, uh, don't remember the exact order, but I know it's Mavs, Spurs,
Spurs, Philly, and then
Philly, and then
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Which all the top three teams already have stars on their team. So it's like kind of like the rich get richer kind of thing. Um, these teams would have been in the playoffs had they've had a healthy season, fully healthy season. Um, I wholeheartedly think so. I mean, you see the roster of what the Philadelphia 76ers had. I mean, Paul George had a down year, but he had Jared McCain, who was playing at a high level, probably was on pace to win Rookie of the Year up to that point. Um, you got Joel Embiid, who's coming off of an MVP a couple seasons ago, but he went out like what mid-season, I want to say. Tyrese Maxey, who's developing into one of the better guards in the league, developing into a star in this league as well. He was an all-star. Uh, I want to say he wasn't an All-Star this past season, was he? Was it season before?
Season before, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was season before.
And it's like you get that, and then they get a chance of getting a top pick. You got the Spurs, who have had the last two rookies of the year, Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Gilmore. Now they add
Castle.
another. I don't know why I said Gilmore. Stephon Castle. Wow, Stephon Gil. That's a whole nother sport. Goodness. B.
Can't take the Carolina out that boy.
Listen, man. But yeah, they get a chance to get a top pick as well with the two pick. Um, and at the same time, you got elephant in the room is who has the best trade package for Giannis. You know, a lot of these teams are looking for that last piece or looking for a piece. A lot of teams that are, I mean, Giannis is likely asking out or hasn't officially asked out of Milwaukee yet, but it seems that him and his team are looking for a new home for him. So that's something to be on the lookout for as well. But yeah, one thing I took away from this lottery is that I mean, obviously taking doesn't nothing guarantees you number one pick, right? But it does increase your odds at doing so with the lower numbers or the lower you are in the ranks. It does increase your numbers. But we've seen the number one pick go to the playing teams the last 2 years in the Atlanta Hawks and the um, Dallas Mavericks. Now, I know there's been talks last few years about how about how the league wants to try and do away with tanking. Um, they've came out with different policies, penalties, fines for you resting players and resting policies and stuff. So really, just trying to make the game more pure again, rather than having teams waste the season. Like basically trying to prevent a repeat of the trust the process era with the 76ers, where they legitimately intentionally was losing games. Because they want to build through the draft, build through the draft, build through the draft. But I mean, part of me is feeling like it's no right answer to building through the draft. There's no right answer at all. I mean, you can have a complete turnaround 1 year and hey, free agency, you hit the jackpot with a couple free agents, or you make it to where like there's certain situations, um, certain situations just play out the way they do. You got teams that develop pretty quickly, or the rebuild turnaround is pretty quick. So I mean, it's some multiple ways that you can do it. There's no for sure formula as to how to build a team and how to create a team to be a contender. But you do have let's see here. But one thing for sure though is that it should be an exciting draft regardless because of the draft class coming in. Um, Dallas gets rewarded with the number one pick once again. So they get both the number one pick in the WNBA and NBA draft in the same year. Um, yeah. Tweak thoughts on draft lottery?
Um, I mean, with the flattened odds that Adam Silver put in place, the tanking thing, it doesn't really help you. Like, there's no real like it used to be like 25% chance, 25% chance, 25% chance, and then it would go down to like 19, 16, 14. Like now, like there's not a huge gap between 1, 12, 14. Like we're a year removed from Atlanta jumping. Atlanta wasn't supposed to have the number one pick last year. They ended up getting it. Like I think it's gotten to the point where it's like if you are going out and trying to lose, like at a certain point, you're not gonna get rewarded for that. Like granted, there are some teams that just don't have the talent, but there's teams that are talented enough, and then like they're in games and they sit their players, they sit the starters so that they lose the game. You shouldn't get rewarded for that, in my opinion. Like sometimes, like when LeBron left, Cleveland was just ass. Like they were really just bad. They got Kyrie Irving or whatever. Like it it's weird that like it's become such a thing that people are like, oh yeah, we gotta lose, we gotta lose, we gotta lose so we can get this number one pick. Like, and there's no there's no guarantee that that number one pick comes in and changes things. Either way, like you never know what can happen with the
That's
number one
another
pick. Like
thing.
New Orleans thought they had hit the jackpot, and 6 years later they're looking like he's a great player, but he's never on the floor.
Hmm.
2020, like the Warriors had got James Wiseman. They're looking back like, damn, we should have just traded the pick. Like you never know what you're gonna get at those in those top four picks. But people are so used to being like, oh, we got to get this, we got to get this. Like people said, Scoot was a generational talent. He hasn't looked like that yet, and it's been 2 years. So you have to draft well too. Like you can't just go into things and expect like things to just fall your way because you lost enough games. Like if you go about things the right way, the right things will happen for you. Say we talk about Nico Harrison, like yeah, it was a dumbass trade he made, but he wasn't making the trade to be bad in the trade because he thought that was a better way for them to compete. While we may not agree with it, if Kyrie didn't get hurt, this conversation probably doesn't happen, or this they definitely don't get the number one pick. But when you look at teams like Philly, like you said, Philly probably is a playoff team if they didn't come into the season injured. Joel Embiid missed the first like 10 to 15 games. He came in the season injured. Paul George got injured in the preseason, was injured for most of the season. Tyrese Maxey was healthy for a good bit and then got hurt. And then there was really no reason for him to come back and play. Jerry McCain got hurt in like November-ish, I feel like pretty early in the season. So like your top four players, your top four productive players on offense were gone and were away from the team or whatever. And that's not really a fault to them. Like they just you can't fault like you can't injuries play a part and you can't control that. Even with the Spurs, like the Spurs, yeah, they might have made the playoffs, they might have made the play in. Wemby gets hurt, then De'Aaron Fox gets hurt. You don't make the play in, you don't make the playoffs. You are able to jump up. Like if you compete, you do things the right way, good things will happen. That's how I feel. Um, I understand when some teams, teams are really bad and you're like, bro, just tank. There's no reason to do this. But at the end of the day, like these are humans, these are basketball players, these are professional athletes. Like they want to go out and play basketball. They want to go out and win games. And we can't sit here and say like, oh, these players aren't cut from the same cloth as the old ones, and then tell them, hey, you got to go out and lose on purpose. This shit just doesn't make sense. So that we can bring in this player that you might get replaced because once we bring this player in, we're gonna build around him, and you may not fit that player. Like it's just weird to me that sports has gotten to that point, and really is more so basketball. Like football, a little bit when it comes to like it's mostly in basketball where it's like, oh, it's this generational number one pick. Like we gotta tank. We gotta tank. Even last year, like people weren't sure about the draft, but people were still losing on purpose. People were still losing games. People were still tanking to get the number one pick. And then you got there and everybody's like, oh, this draft class sucks. This draft class sucks. You're not gonna get rewarded when you do things the wrong way. That's just how I feel about it. Um, Cooper Flag should fit well in Dallas. I think him, AD, Derek Lively as a defensive front court is insane. Um, I'm curious to see what San Antonio does. It would have been crazy if San Antonio was able to get number one because then you would have Cooper Flag and Wemby. Giannis is available, semi-available. They haven't really like he didn't really say he wanted to request a trade. He said he basically said, "Hey, I'm thinking about requesting a trade," which is kind of pointless. Um,
The writing is
but
on the wall.
that
He's out of
option is
there.
out there. Daryl Morey said that they're gonna draft that number three. So that's potentially Ace Bailey, BJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson, someone like that. Um, and then Charlotte at number four basically it's not bad. I honestly don't know if Cooper Flag going there would have been a good thing for his development, just because
No.
outside of Lamelo, who I think Lamelo is more like he developed himself,
Yeah.
and Brandon Miller, I guess to a certain extent. Like they haven't really drafted well, and they haven't progressed any. Like no players have progressed really under their tutelage or anything. So um, again, you do things the right way, good things will happen. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I probably would have been a little more what optimistic about having the eighth pick, or not the eighth pick, or having a higher pick than the eighth pick. Um, but I mean, they just gotta make the best out of it. So outside of that, though, I'm excited for this draft class. Got a lot of big names coming in. The Duke Big Three, they should go lotto, all three of them. Um, you got some standouts from the past NCAA tournament. Like you mentioned, you got Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, BJ Edgecombe as well. They should round out the top 4 to 5. Um, so yeah, I mean, draft is in mid-June next month. So we'll see who goes where in the 2025 NBA draft. Um, Now, let's go to the second round. And well, actually, before that, I do want to say I agree with your point about drafting in the right position or drafting well. I mean, we've seen bust before, like drafting a person that was supposed to be the number one pick fizzle out and not become
Drafting
that.
Anthony Bennett, #1.
Anthony freaking Bennett. I remember the year Celtics drafted,
Bill
not
Simmons.
drafted. They had the one pick and they traded their pick back to three to get Tatum instead of, and then that
Yeah,
opened up for Philly to draft Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz hasn't had the greatest NBA career, but still
yeah.
decent. He's been able to have a career, which I'm glad at. Other draft busts I'm thinking about is like Greg Oden, who's dealt with injuries. He was number one pick coming out of
Injuries. Yeah.
Ohio State. Um,
I mean, the
yes,
#1 picks
yeah,
of the last 10 to 15 years have been pretty good.
yeah.
Like
I mean, you got
if I'm
Ant,
thinking last year was
Zachary,
Zachary was the same. We don't really have
Richardson.
a. I said Zach to try to be funny, but
Yeah,
we don't really know about him yet. But Wemby, we know he is capable
maybe
of being.
definitely
Um,
generational.
before that, who was 2022? Was it
2022 was
yeah Wemby?
see, Ant was
Cade is
2020.
in there. What
Ant was
21,
2020.
22?
21, I want to say was Cade. Dang, who
22
was the
is
number one draft pick in 2022?
I'm tweaking.
Lordy.
2022 class got to be like is Maxi 2022 class? Or is it 2020?
Oh, Paulo.
Maxi's 22. Who?
Paulo was the number one draft pick
Oh,
2022.
Paolo.
Don't know
Duh.
why I didn't think of
Great
that, or
player.
why I didn't know that.
Um,
Yeah,
21K, 20, and 19
was
Zion,
Zion. Yeah,
18 Aiton, which I wouldn't say is
yeah.
a bust, but it was the wrong pick. Again, that goes to drafting well. Phoenix
I
got the
said
number
that's
one
why we
pick.
do
You
redrafts to
had
like
Devin
look
Booker. You
back at
drafted
these.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do
2017 was
redrafts to look
Markel.
back at these. Markel's
Um,
21,
that
2016
was the wrong pick.
was
2016
that Ben Simmons?
that's the Brandon Ingram draft. Ben
I
Simmons,
want to
yeah.
say
2016 is Ben
2016 was
Simmons.
Ben Simmons. Yeah,
Yeah, 2016 Ben Simmons, 2015 is Cat, 2014 is Wiggins,
Wiggins. So yeah, number one
2013
pick
is
has hit for a while.
yeah. But I mean, even like a guy like Wiggins, like you expected him to be a lot better. But again, that
Yeah,
dude got drafted and traded to a
yeah,
completely different team. So
yeah.
that messed up your mindset. Like there's just different things that go into it. You gotta do everything the right way
Because
and then hope
Cleveland
that the
didn't
player
know that
turns into
LeBron
what
was
they're
coming
supposed to
back
be.
home. Like it was just a good
Right,
pick for Cleveland. And like even when
right.
Cleveland like that year they had the one pick in what 2011 when they drafted Kyrie, like they were
Hmm.
bad that year. You know,
Yeah,
they were
yeah. They were
actually
starting
bad
Alonzo
that year. They
G.
were on like a 20-something like game losing streak. Like
Yeah, they
heading,
were really bad.
they were just bad. You know. Like you
Yeah,
got teams that are actually bad, and you got teams that are trying to be bad or intentionally trying to be bad, and it's like I don't know. Some teams try to cheat the game, some teams don't.
Because like the Sixers were terrible. The trust the process Sixers or whatever. They didn't even get the number one
legitimately
pick that year.
bad. Oh,
The year that they were the
let's
worst,
say
they were like
Embiid
I
was
think
what
they
the
got
number
Nerlens
two
Noel.
pick. They got Nerlens Noel. Their
Embiid was
trust the
number 3,
process picks were
I think.
Nerlens Noel, Joel Embiid, and not Anthony Davis. Ben
Ben,
Simmons. Ben
yeah.
Simmons, Markel
They got
Fultz.
Embiid was number 3 because
Yeah,
Jabari was number 2 that year.
yeah,
It was Andrew Wiggins, then Jabari, then Wiggins. I mean
yeah,
then Embiid. So
yeah.
again, that goes to drafting well. I'm not saying the Bucks drafted wrong. That was injury. I think the torn ACL was what slowed down Jabari a bit.
Yup.
Um, you got to draft well. Like people were trying not to draft Ant, even though he was the number one pick. People were trying to find a reason not to draft him number one. And you're looking now, and you're like, bro, if they wouldn't have drafted him number one,
Bro
they'd
is one
be
game
really
away from the
bad
Western
right now.
Conference Finals.
Again, for the second
Again.
year in a row. So they chose right. There's certain teams that could have like Tyrese Halliburton could have been playing for the Warriors right now. Could be a
In a
completely different
redraft, he
looking team.
probably would be that second pick.
Maxey fell to like 20 something. Like
Yeah,
that's a lot of teams that passed on a player that is an all star. So
yeah,
again, you got to do your due diligence. You got to do your job correctly instead of being like hoping that some lottery balls or some cards go your way.
yeah,
Draft well and things will go your way
yeah. I mean,
because you can get
I
you
agree
can
with
get
that.
great players outside of the top 4. Like Dwayne Wade said
Yeah,
last night. Like there's been some Hall of Famers come for that number 5 pick. Dwayne Wade was the
yeah.
number 5 pick. Darko Milicic was what, number 2?
Number
He was the
two,
worst out of the top
got
5.
picked after. Hey, first one to get a ring. But hey, he got picked after. He got picked before Melo. Got
And
picked
Bosh
before
and Wade.
Melo and Bosch and Wade. But Melo, Bosch, Wade are all Hall of Famers, and I don't know what's going on with Darko Milicic at this point. Like, where
Couldn't
you
tell
from,
you. I haven't seen
Serbia?
him in probably 15 years. I have no idea where he's from, to be honest
Okay.
with you.
Well, I don't know. I don't know
Um,
what he's doing. Whatever he's doing isn't
yeah,
relevant to me
but
today.
I
But
say all that to say just draft well, do your job. That's really
draft
it. Just do your
well,
job
yeah,
to the best of
yeah,
your ability.
yeah. Um, just make the moves and make the best to create the best team year to year.
Because like for y'all, like I understand y'all wanted the number 1 pick. Y'all still got 4 picks in the first round. If y'all
We still
draft
have four
4
picks in
good
the first
players,
round.
you I if I was y'all, I'd rather have 4 good players, 4 really good players than 1 franchise player, and then the other 3 be like, we don't really know what they are. If you can draft
Yeah,
4 players that can contribute right away and for the future, I'd rather have that because you can still find a way to build around that because you still have a lot of money on the
yeah.
books.
I'm looking at mocks now. They talking about Kamal Malawatch and Jeremiah Fears in that 8 range. Like they'll be available. Like I've seen
Yeah, I
like
think I
them
need a
get
point
picked in that
guard.
8 range. I would
It's
love for
early.
Jeremiah Fears to be a Brooklyn net. I love his game. He's so cold. I would love for him to be a net. I wouldn't mind Mala Watch, but I mean, I don't know how I feel on young bigs at the moment. You know, like I feel like we need a vet big to put with Daron Sharp and Nick Claxton, or I mean, if one of those gets shot for a vet big, I don't know. It's a lot that's going to go on in this off season. But yeah, hopefully I just want the boys to be able to compete again, man. I don't want to be back in this position relying on lottery balls. Like I want my team to be good. I want my team to be fun, you know. And like it definitely gave me something to root for having Cooper Flag in Brooklyn, obviously. But I mean, hey, I'm you don't get what you want all the time. So
You don't get what you want, but you get what you need, and you get what you earn as well.
yeah. But I don't know. I just think it was crazy that those three out of those 4 teams ended up in the top 4. Like
Yeah, that is crazy. Everybody
that's
that was in the
insane.
top
Those
4
teams
besides
missed the
Charlotte dropped
playoffs
4
due
spots.
to yeah, those teams missed the playoffs due to injury, not due to the team being bad. Like teams that actually
Yeah.
need the help, need young talent, or can benefit from having a higher draft pick. They didn't get it. So I guess hopefully this makes everybody try and compete this next year. Um, but Yeah. Anyway, you spent 30 minutes on the draft lottery. Um, Second round is I don't want to say wrapping up, but I mean it's shaping up to be pretty good. We got Cavs and Pacers right now. Pacers can clinch the series with a win tonight. They're up three at the time of this recording. Um, you got the Knicks who are up 3-1 in their series. You got the Minnesota Timberwolves who are up 3-1 in their series, and you got the whatchamacallit, the Nuggets who are up not up, no, it's tied 2-2.
Yep.
So that game is after Indiana and Cleveland, Nuggets and Golden State. Not Golden State. Oh my gosh, Nuggets and Oklahoma City.
Mhm.
Yeah. What has been your views, your thoughts on the second round?
Man, the Knicks and the Celtics, or the Knicks and Celtics series, yes, but Knicks and the Pacers. Just I think for the Knicks, I don't think the Knicks got enough credit for making the moves that they did. I think a lot of people looked and were like, "Wow, y'all gave up Dante DiVincenzo." Um, I don't think people were necessarily mad about the Julius for cat trade. I think people thought that they won that part of it. I think they looked at the Dante DiVincenzo. Was like, "Man, you messed up the chemistry, whatever, whatever." And I can see where people are coming from with that, but it's like if you can get a player that has been All NBA and was All NBA this season, you make that trade. And we've seen in the past, like we saw the Clippers try to do it. Um, but we've seen teams gear up for certain teams. And
Mm-hmm.
when the Knicks made the moves that they did this season, they made the moves so that they could match Boston specifically. Um, I think they felt comfortable beating everybody else in the East. They may not have come out and said it, and it didn't look like that in the regular season, but they had the personnel, they had the coaching, they had the system to do it. Now, did I expect them to come out and be up 3-1 on the Celtics, winning the first two on the road, and then winning game four, pivotal game four? I didn't expect them to be up 3-1 for sure. But I'm not completely surprised because they do have the talent to do it. And I think a lot of what their problem was, like they went up 2-0 and both of them were 20-point comeback wins in Boston. They lost game three in a blowout, and it's like, okay, do they get blown out in game four too? And then they go back and they just wasted those two games. Last night when I was watching the game, the thing that I was saying in the first 10 minutes of the game was just get past the mental part of it. I think what the problem was for the Knicks was they were thinking too much about shots going in, shots not going in, them making shots. And then by the time they were able to try to get a rhythm, the game was out of hand. You just got to get past that mental part, make a couple of shots, get a rhythm, and then you're like, okay, it's just basketball. And that's what I kept saying last night in the first quarter is like, get it to where it just feels like basketball again. Because it took the Knicks a while to start getting a flow on offense. I think they went like 1 for 7 or 1 for 8 to start the game. Um, and the Celtics, they didn't miss three. They didn't miss a three for a while.
That's for sure.
So I was looking at them and I'm like, I get that the Celtics are a great 3-point shooting team, but at the same time, it's like you can't overreact to what's going on in the moment. Like you have to just play for what's happening in the moment. Like you have to play the game. And I think once the Knicks realize, like, hey, this is just basketball. Like they're human too. This is at the end of the day, like they got to beat us. I think I think Mikhail came down, hit a three, Brunson hit a three, and then OG hit a three
Mm-hmm.
within like a 2 to 3 minute span. And I was like, okay, the Knicks are in this game. I don't know if they'll win this game, but it's going to be a close game. And then there was a couple different spans where Boston went up, and I think the most they went up by at one point was 14. And then the Knicks were able to make just slight pushes to get it back. And in the third quarter, I think the second half of basketball may have been their best half of basketball all season. And
Yeah.
while they had crazy comebacks in game one and two, those were like just boom, quick spurts that just happened. And the Celtics weren't really responding. I think this second half was so good because the Celtics were responding. And when I say the Celtics, I mostly mean Jason Tatum. Like,
Yeah, he
um,
had what
when the Knicks
42
would,
before his injury.
yeah, when the Knicks would make a run and they would try to get the lead and push it, they would get the 1 point lead, and then Jason Tatum would come down and hit a three.
Oh,
right before halftime. Like the Knicks felt like they were in good position to have to go into halftime. I think Tatum came out and hit 3 straight threes right before halftime. So it's like every time they felt like they were close, Tatum was like, "No, you're not." Or every time they felt like they might pull away, Tatum was like, "No, you're not." And I think them being able to respond to that over and over and over was the best thing that could have happened for them because now they feel like, okay, we got past that part of it. Like we're able to win a comeback game. Yes. Can we win a close game? And a lot of people have said over the last 3 to 4 years is get the Celtics in a close game and make them beat you mentally and make them beat you at the end of the game with their thought process and just making the right plays. And outside of last year, they haven't been able to do that. They lost to the Heat. They lost to the Warriors. Um, and it's just like I don't want to say like they like fumbled this season, but I don't think there's a way that we could have gone to this season and been like, yeah, they were gonna potentially lose in the second round. And
yeah,
that's
nah.
just kind of crazy. With all the talent that they have, um, the coach that they brought in and the system that they run and things like that. And I know a lot of people can be like, oh, the 3-point shooting is the reason. There's a lot of different reasons why the Celtics are losing. Like,
They
and a
definitely
lot
weren't
of
that
it,
bad at
some of
three,
it is just the
but
Knicks are really good. And
yeah,
when you get to a close game, like we always talk about in the playoffs, like when you get to a close game, like who has the better player? While
yeah,
Jason Tatum is probably better than Jalen Brunson, like player for player, in the
yeah.
last 5 minutes, I'm not sure who you're taking over Jalen Brunson in the entire league. And I'm being dead ass serious.
Mm,
Like Jalen Brunson has been the best. He won Clutch Player of the Year, and he's been the best player in the playoffs by far in the clutch minutes. And I don't know, like there hasn't been a stretch, there hasn't been a game where they've needed him to show up in the clutch, and he hasn't. Like he's gonna hit one of those tough threes. He's gonna hit those tough mid range jumpers. Like he's gonna get to a spot. It doesn't matter who's guarding him. Like he's doing this in a series where Derek White is chasing him, Drew Holiday is chasing him, Jaylen Brown chases him, Jason Tatum is chasing him, Al Horford, Porzingis. Like it doesn't matter who they're putting out there. He's finding a way to use those players to his advantage. Whether it's Peyton Pritchard, he's like, oh, I can get to the rim on him. If it's Drew Holiday, I can find a way to get around him. If it's Derek White, I might be able to shoot over him or go through him. Like there's different things for everything that he's done. And I also want to give credit to Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Cat, because all four of those players have to step up. It can't just be Jalen Brunson, and it hasn't been that. Game two, game one, Mikal Bridges made the game winning stops on both plays. Uh, Last night, Mikal Bridges was phenomenal in the fourth quarter. Got to the mid range like 7 times, I feel like, and knocked down every single one. Like they was trying to close out on him. He take 1, 2 dribbles, get to the same spot, pull up, bucket. Cat last night was super efficient in the paint. I think he went 0 for 3 from three, but only missed like 4 shots total all night. And I think he gets the worst whistle in the league. I'm just being honest. I see a lot of other centers go out there and flop and get a lot of calls. Cat don't get no fucking calls when he goes to the rim, bro. Dude's 6'10", 6'11". Like he's getting smacked, he's getting pushed, he's getting hold, he's getting held, and then he come down the other way, and somebody runs into him and they call a foul on him. Like shit's crazy to me. Um, and then OG Anunoby and Josh Hart like always make the right plays. Josh Hart, there's times where I'm like slow the fuck down. Like I think there was a point. I think it was like right before. I think it was right before Tatum got hurt. Like they went on that little spurt to go up 7, and Josh Hart got the ball. I think they might have been up 1. He got the ball, and I'm like, all right, slow down, slow down. He fucking takes off and does like a reverse lay. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And then it went in. I was like, never mind. I'll shut the fuck up. Because like when you see plays like that, those are plays that can either win you the game or lose you the game. Because if he goes down there and misses that layup, the Celtics can come down and hit a 3, and now the momentum is back to Boston. But he makes that shot, the crowd gets hyped, you get able to get another stop, you're able to get back on defense, things like that. So definitely want to give credit to them because this series is not 3-1 in the Knicks' favor without Cat, uh, Mikal, OG, and Josh Hart.
yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with you there. I think Mikal Bridges has been an X factor in this series for sure. He has far he's performed at a high level at the right moment. You know, right time, right place. Like that's been him. Yesterday he put up his series high in points after kind of struggling from the field the first couple of games, but he made up for it on defense on in those first two games. Um, I think the Knicks are just hustled, like they're playing with that New York attitude of like grit, grind, hustle. Like you see it exemplified through their play. Um, I think that's what it is. They got the city behind them. Those home games are insane. And you just love to play in your home environment. But them
Man,
getting it done on the road was insane to begin with, right? They had a they're this a lower seed in this game. I mean in this series, so they got
mm,
potentially another game at the road. I mean another game at the crib on Friday, but they can't end this in five in Boston. And without
yeah,
Jason Tatum, their chances are higher to do so. Um, yeah, they just played with a different kind of hustle. Everybody stepped up to the occasion, and like you mentioned, this is the one team, and we've talked about this all season. This would be the one team to stop Boston in their tracks from repeating. Because I mean, let's face it, I think everybody had Boston repeating going into this season, and like it was like no matter who came out of the West, um, we were thinking what the Thunder, maybe the Wolves, maybe the Lakers, maybe I don't say anybody had the Rockets really until playoff seeding or until like the playoffs started. But those teams there like matched up against the Celtics. We were thinking about realistically what teams would be the team to stop the Celtics, and every time we would say it would be the Knicks. So I mean, suck to see Tatum go out the way he did after having a phenomenal performance. And it kind of sucks too because it's like the Celtics were playing bad at that point. Like you said, like the Knicks were in the
mm,
midst of a run
yeah.
before that happened. And I want to say, I mean, it's on Jalen Brown now to step up. Like you, the $300 million player they paying. It's on you, big dog. You gotta step up to the forefront and make something shake for a couple games, for
He
at
was
least
really bad in
two.
the second half last night.
He was. His
Really
turnover led to
bad.
Jason
That fourth
Tatum's
quarter. I was about
ACL
to say he had
injury.
multiple
I
turnovers in the
mean,
fourth quarter.
yeah,
Multiple wide open threes that he missed. The first two shots that the Celtics got after Tatum went out was two Jalen Brown threes, and he missed both.
yeah. And like this team really lives and dies by the three, man. And this
Yeah,
has been the Celtics brand of basketball for a minute too. Even before
yeah.
Missoula, they lived and
Yeah,
died
but
by
say
the
even with
three.
E-Man, they were a lot of 3 point. I mean, they weren't shooting it to
Even
the
with
extent.
Brad,
Yeah, I
even
mean,
with Brad,
yeah,
because you got
yeah.
to think that that
They were a
series
heavy
against
jump shooting team.
against Cleveland
Yeah,
2018, they brought it to a game seven and they kind of shot their way out of that game. Like that's whenever Marcus
yeah,
Smart was like, "Yo, like I'm taking control. I'm." This was Mark. That was Mark Smart. Was I'm getting mines, you know,
right.
and shoot before he became a better shooter when they made it to the
Mm-hmm.
finals in 2021,
Two.
22. That was what, yeah, 2022. Um, but I mean, they started the game hot. Derek White hit three threes out the gate. Um,
Yeah.
you had Tatum hitting threes. I want to say Al had a couple threes. Like they got shooters, but you got to make shots at the same time. I know three is more than two, and the game is going more towards like finding the best shot, utilizing the shot clock to find the best shot, maximizing your scoring potential, your scoring ability. I mean, not possible. Your scoring opportunities. Like we said, you live and die by the three. That and against a team like New York that's so physical, I feel like that can work, but at the same time, you probably gotta just match their physicality and just go down low with it. Like Brunson, Brunson not afraid to go down low to finish with amongst the trees. Like he is not being the smallest guy on the court. Sometimes he is not afraid.
Mm-hmm.
He throws his body on the floor, on the line every game, and that's something I can respect about bro. It's like the way he plays. Like he got a lot of heart. They say heart over height, but like yeah.
Yeah. I also want to give credit to Mitchell Robinson. Outside of the free throws, he's done everything well. Uh, he's been a huge help for them defensively, especially when Cat does get in foul trouble. He was so good that they were, going hack a Mitch because yeah, he's a really bad free throw shooter, but they were so he was so good on the court that they were like, we got to get him off the court because he's really giving us problems. Offensive rebounding, defending, just deterring shots at the rim, making plays defensively. Um, and as for the Celtics, I think I'm interested to see how this offseason goes because even before the injury to Tatum, there was talked about changes coming in the offseason, and now you're looking and there I've seen Sham say like with the way that the money situation was, new owners, like they're potentially looking to really make changes this offseason, which will be really interesting because this is a team that just won a championship last year. But obviously Tatum will be out for all of next season. So you have to look at it from a different landscape or a different viewpoint. But yeah, as a whole, this series has been really fun. Um, I just love. I feel like I say this every time we talk about the Knicks. I really just love MSG. Like even when the Knicks teams were bad, I'm like, bro, they're playing a home game. I'm watching the game
I
because
mean,
you
it's
have
the
Mike
place
Green
to
and Clyde
be.
Frazier, and then you have the crowd, you have the organ, like everything is just perfect. I don't know what it is, and then it's
It's
always
where
celebrities.
basketball should be played at.
It's just I have to get to games. Like I have
Next
to get some games.
season, next season, St. John's season, bro. Like it's where basketball is meant to be played. They call it the Mecca for a reason.
The Knicks are 5 games away from playing an NBA Finals game in MSG.
I almost reported you for that tweet. I ain't gonna lie.
For saying the truth, they're 5 wins away.
Yeah, but I'm hating. What Drake said?
Hey,
I'm hating hard.
y'all could have gone. Y'all could have gone and gotten Jalen Brunson. There
Yeah,
was a
they
lot
could
of
have.
teams that could have gone and gotten Jalen Brunson. The Mavs could have kept Jalen Brunson.
Yo, I saw a tweet
The
today. It
only
was
people
like,
that
listen,
believed that
listen.
Jalen Brunson was the Knicks.
I saw a tweet today. It was Jalen Brunson and Luca holding their jerseys up, right? And it was like, yo, kids are gonna like when kids grow up, they're gonna think this photo is AI.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Jalen Brunson was a second round pick. Like, there's a lot
Yeah.
of teams that passed on him multiple times. They passed on him in the draft, and then they passed on him in the free agency. Because people said it was an overpay when the Knicks paid him.
No.
And he
I said
outplayed that
he's
contract, and he's
getting.
outplaying the contract that he has. He's
I'm about to
outplaying the
say
extension that he just
he's
signed.
on another franchise friendly contract. Took a
Yeah,
pay cut.
he's getting to the point where he's like one of the best Knicks of all time, and he's only been there for what 3 years at this point. He went there in 20. He went there the year after. Yeah, he went there the off season going into 23. I want to say because he was with the Mavericks for the conference finals run because Luka got hurt a couple of games against the Jazz and Jalen Brunson
Hmm.
turned up. And it was like, y'all didn't see that and see, like, hey, this dude really is like that. They ain't see it. The Knicks saw it, got him, all star, boom. Came out, all NBA, boom. This year, all NBA again, boom. Like, and could have gone to the conference finals last year if they didn't deal with as many injuries as they did. Like, OG
Yeah, I feel like
Anunoby
if they would
had
have
hurt his
wrapped up that
hamstring in game
series a
set
game
or
earlier.
before game 7. And then Brunson, what, like broke his wrist during
Yeah,
the game.
some, yeah.
I think Josh Hardy got hurt too. So, like,
Yep.
um, if that is the or Eastern Conference Final series we get, it's gonna be a lot of fun because this could be the segue to get into the Indiana and Cleveland series. Indiana is playing some fantastic, like they might be playing the best basketball of anybody in the playoffs right now.
Yo, and it's crazy because it's like Tyrese Halliburton struggled to start the season off, and it's like he
Yeah.
struggled bad. Seeing the way he's played in these playoffs, bro, like I don't say peaking at the right time, but I mean, yeah, I guess peaking at the right time. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's performing at a higher level. He's hit clutch shot off the clutch shot.
Mm.
Um, they're up again, 85-81 with 10 minutes left in this fourth.
Well, I'm a little ahead
And
of
the
you.
team are, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're 100
I'm
shit
watching.
and
I
one
ain't gonna
three.
lie, I'm watching off the phone, so I know I'm like a
possessions.
I'm watching off the phone too. You're
Yeah,
not
but
watching on
something.
Max though, are you?
No,
Oh, okay. See, that makes sense.
like I tried, but I don't know what's going on. I was trying to connect, wasn't connecting. I was like, you know what, going on fashion with it, going back to college. But anyways, it's fun basketball for them too, man. Like it's you like you're seeing rivalries being renewed throughout these playoffs, bro. And it's a good time because this is a time where I mentioned where
Mm,
like instead of changing eras, like shifting from like the old school to the new school. Well, I don't want to say old school. I don't want to say the 2010s is old school because that's crazy to say. But like going from Steph, Braun, KD, Chris Paul, going from that era to going to this era with you got Ant leading the Wolves, you got Tyrese leading the Pacers, got Donovan Mitchell leading the Cavs, even though he was drafted 2017.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
um,
He was in
you
that
got
Tatum
Tatum leading the Celtics, who
swiper
was drafted in
draft.
2017 as well, or that was
Yep.
2018.
No, 17.
That was 2017. 2017 as well. Brunson, who was in a recent draft,
2018.
2018. Um,
Same draft as Luca.
yeah. Oh, yeah, we just mentioned that. Yeah. You got Shea, who was drafted with 2018.
He was 18 too.
I want to say he was
Yeah, he
18
was
when he got
18.
drafted by the Clippers. Yeah.
Yep.
Um. So yeah, it's like the youth movement. It's like they getting these old guys up out of here. It's like, look, y'all time is done. It's time to pack it up, old man.
Yeah. I mean,
But I mean, unfortunately,
it
we
has
haven't been able to
become the
see
young
Steph
players
Curry in
league
the yeah.
recently in
We
the
haven't been
playoffs
able
at
to see
least.
Steph Curry in this World Series, which would have made the World Series a little
Sounds
more
good about
fun.
it.
But I ain't gonna lie, we see Draymond looking like vintage Draymond at times.
Stop it.
But
Stop it. He
back
out
to
there
the
just
Pacers
doing
though.
shit, especially
Back,
when he ain't got Steph. But we can talk about that later.
back to the Pacers though, man. I'm here for it, man. Say what you want about Tyrese Halliburton. He's a playoff performer. He rises to the occasion and has been able to lead this team to another deep playoff run. Shout out to Pascal Siakam. He's been good through these playoffs as well. Same, and it's like their
Never thought I'd
role.
hear you say that.
I know, right? Look at that growth. But you see this team. This is just another team that just hustles and get after it, man. It's like I love that kind of basketball, where it's like running gun. Like we want to get after it. We're having fun. We're playing defense. We're stepping them up. Like it's just good all around to see. Say what you want though, because a lot of people are hating on the potential Knicks and Pacers conference finals, but it's like,
I don't
gang,
like
like,
basketball.
did y'all not watch the Reggie Miller 30 for 30? Y'all not like basketball?
Some people really do not like basketball.
Some
I've
people just don't
noticed.
like basketball. Like, we've said this time after time again. Like, people really don't like basketball for real. Y'all like everything but basketball. Like, if a certain player ain't doing a certain thing, you're not tuned in. And it's like, all right, we know what you're here for. You know? Like, people don't like the art of pure basketball. People just like everything else, like the drama, like the theatrics. Um, if people have a bad time, like accepting or like valuing the current era too, like a lot of this current era gets compared to the last era. I mean, the last era got compared to the era before that. A lot of people call
Yeah.
Bronze era soft compared to Jordan's era. Not people calling this current era soft compared to the last era. Like, I
The
mean,
nostalgia is funny,
changes.
bro, because I
Yeah,
seen a clip. I seen a video of like music behind the 2016 playoffs, like just montage, and I'm like, 2016 playoffs was good, but it was really only the Warriors, the Warriors Thunder series, and then the Cavs Warriors series that was good.
I want to say Dame hit a game winner
Y'all
probably
can't tell me none of
in that
y'all
in that
can't tell me none
playoffs.
of them other series, man.
I want to say Dame hit a game winner probably.
In
Uh,
2016,
yeah, maybe against the Rockets again.
no, that was 2014, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
What year was it when he hit it against the Thunder? And Paul
that
George said
was
that was a bad
19.
shot. That was
That was
2019.
19. That was for the bubble.
2019. I thought it was in high school
Yeah.
when that happened.
Remember he hit that shot. Russ got traded. PG got traded. He ended that whole OKC shit.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that next season, that's when PG was in LA,
Mhm.
and then Russ was in
Russ
Houston,
was in
and
Houston. Yeah.
then COVID happened, and then
Yeah.
that's when they played in the bubble.
Yeah.
Or not, they didn't play each other in the bubble, but
But they, as in
the
the
Clippers
NBA,
did what
played in
they
the
did in the
bubble.
bubble, and the Rockets lost to the Lakers in the bubble.
Yeah.
And second,
That's when Devin
I
Booker hit
believe.
that shot. Well, that was a regular season, like playing type of game.
Yeah,
But
they went
D
8-0
Book hit the
in the
shot
bubble.
and it went 8-0. They what they needed to do and still didn't get in, which
Still
is
did,
crazy.
still didn't get it.
Which is
But yeah,
crazy.
nostalgia is a funny thing because
It is.
people were complaining about basketball then,
Mhm.
about the Warriors shooting too many threes, and
Mhm.
then when KD got there, people were complaining about KD being on
Yeah.
that team and it being overpowered.
I remember that day.
2019 was a great year for basketball. I mean, Kawhi and the Raptors won the championship. People
Yeah.
still was like, "Oh, they only won the championship because
That was
KD and
still a
Clay got
great
hurt, whatever,
championship run,
whatever."
though. I mean, we gotta look at
Then in
that
2020, they found a
playoff
way
run
to
before
take that
that.
away from the Lakers. Like every year, they've tried to take a championship away, or they've tried to
Discredit
diminish
somebody.
someone's legacy. So it's like
Yeah.
y'all really just don't like basketball. So
They
I
don't like
stopped listening to
basketball.
what
They
other
don't.
people
I
got to say
mean,
at a certain point.
yeah, people don't like basketball. People don't like players. Like they only like certain players for certain reasons or whatever. You can't have an idol in this league.
They only like that player for a little bit of time though, because once that player gets too good, then they don't like Shaq.
Yeah, like I'll
When
say,
Shea was like, when
I've
Shea was like
seen the
that
the
rapper that
turn
nobody
on
know about,
Shea. Yeah,
everybody was fucking with him. Then he
yeah.
became mainstream. Man, he trash
It's like,
now. He
oh,
don't
he
got
a
that
foul
same
bait
hunger.
merchant.
But he was doing the
Same
same thing.
ones,
He been
same
averaging
ones
30 for
that was
3 years
that.
straight.
Listen,
He been
same
doing the same
ones.
thing for the last 3 years.
Listen, same ones that got on Harden for the same thing. After they praised
Nah,
Harden,
that
they
was a
love
little different.
Harden.
I ain't gonna lie, gang.
I mean, it's a
That was a
little
little
different,
different. I
but
ain't gonna lie.
they got on Harden for
He was
foul
definitely
baiting.
out there trying to foul bait.
They got on Harden for foul baiting. They got on Shea for foul baiting.
They get on Brunson too. It's like,
They
bro,
do get on
Brunson's like
Brunson.
barely
I
6
ain't gonna
foot.
lie, Brunson.
He
Brunson's
barely
like a
6 foot. He
listen.
gotta do that shit.
Brunson's like listen. You will trip when I say this too. Brunson's like a Kyle Lowry I can respect.
Oh hell no, you not gonna do that. He's way better than Kyle Lowry.
I
Stop
mean,
with that
no,
shit.
he
Kyle Lowry ain't
listen.
never averaged 28 a game.
No,
That nigga Brunson averaged 38 a year
that's
ago.
why I can respect Brunson
Because he averaged 30.
because he can get it done.
So can Kyle.
Kyle was a second fiddle.
I would. Don't. We really about to do that. We really about to say Kyle was his second fiddle instead of just giving him props for being a champion. He played a huge part, and if you act like that closeout game, he didn't go nuts. He did.
Fred
Go back and
Van
watch
Vliet
that
did
game
more than
6, bro.
Kyle Lowry.
Go back and watch that game 6 and tell me who did more in that game 6, that closeout game.
Fred Van Vliet did more than Kyle Lowry. That's
You're,
it.
go back and watch the game.
Fred
Go back
Van
and watch
Vliet
the
had a
closeout
baby
game.
and went crazy.
Closeout game.
Anyways, nah, I'm tripping. Mark, I don't got no smoke for Kyle Lowry anymore.
Brunson is more like I don't even know how to explain it because he's not super athletic. He's not
short
super
Villanova
fast.
guards that
He's just a lot.
do
He used
make
a lot of
winning
footwork.
plays, and it kind of annoying fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like Brunson will like take a charge at the time where it's like, oh my gosh, and I
Kind of
know
like
it's a
Nick
part of
Van
the
Exel,
game.
low key.
Nick Van Exel tough, but it's like they
Without
do the
like the
things.
crazy crosses.
Obviously, they do the things needed to win. You know. So I mean, I don't know. I kind of just I don't really know where my Kyle Lowry hate stem from. Maybe because I just didn't like how he flopped. A lot of people say Jalen Brunson flops too, but
He got to sell the call, bro. He's
gotta
short.
sell it. I ain't
You
gonna
don't be
lie. I
giving him
mean,
the
I guess
call.
it's part of the game, but I don't know. I
Boy, if
rather
you was in the
protect the
league,
flop.
you be selling calls too.
No,
I fake sell calls. I'll
I'll just
I'll play
argue.
with my
I'll
kids
just
at work.
argue. I'll be like
I'll
Luca.
hope my
I'll
kids at
argue.
work and be like, hey, I'll do it.
Listen,
I don't care.
I'll be like Luca
Get
and
my
argue
foul.
after every possession.
I'd rather you flop and try to get the call than do that shit because I hate
Nah,
seeing that shit. Luka and Draymond, I damn near turn the TV off on them. Especially Draymond. Never mind. Let me chill. Back to the Pacers in Cleveland.
Back to
Or
the Pacers in
Pacers.
Cleveland.
Yeah, Pacers in Cleveland.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's been crazy.
Shout
in
out
this
to
series.
the others. Shout out to the others though. For the Pacers.
Oh yeah, shout out
Go
Aaron
ahead, go ahead, go
Neesmith.
ahead, go
Shout out to I'm trying to think of who else was there. You got Siakam. I'm trying to think of somebody else that kind of looks like Neesmith. I'm thinking of.
Go ahead. Don't look it up either. He's
I'm
not on the
looking at
court
the
right
name
now
right
either.
now.
He not on the court right now. I know exactly who you thinking about. He's not on the court right now.
Shout out to Miles
You're
Turner.
not gonna find him on the bench. You crazy for real. He said, "Who that one dude? He looked like he kind of looked like Neesmith." You
It's like I
crazy.
got him confused one day, but I realized it wasn't Neesmith. It was
Oh, bro.
all right, bro. Help me out, bro.
Benedict Mather.
Yes. How did I forget? How did I forget Ben Mathurin, dog? How did I forget Ben Mathurin, bro? Damn. How did I forget Ben
I knew that's who
Mathurin?
you was talking about too.
How
I knew that's who you was talking
How
about.
I forget Ben Mathurin, dog?
That's a great question. Because he just
That's
got ejected
crazy.
from the last game.
Yeah, I don't know how I forgot Ben Mathurin like that, dog. That's Benedict
That is crazy.
Mathurin. My apologies, big dog. My apologies.
Oh, good
But
hands.
yeah, definitely entertaining series. Cavs though. I don't know what.
Good bucket.
I ain't gonna
Oh
lie.
my
I saw
God.
TikTok earlier. Nick sent me this TikTok because he said the TikTok for other reasons. But this girl was doing a breakdown and it was like, I know why the Cavs are losing because of their opponent's 3-point percentage. Their opponent's 3-point percentage in games they win is like under 30%. But in games they lose, it's like skyrocket. Like that's the difference is their perimeter defense. I mean,
Dude.
sure, you can say that. They got the defensive player of the year, Evan Mobley, who's a post player.
Right.
I mean, Donovan
They had him
Mitchell,
playing the top of
Darius
the zone in
Garland
game
are
3, bro.
yeah,
When have you ever seen that? When have you ever
never,
seen a 4-man be at the top of the
never,
zone?
never.
6'10" at the top of the zone. And it
Get
worked.
get your ass down on that block.
But it worked.
And that had to.
They didn't know what to do that game.
No.
That's the only one. That's the only game they've gotten so
Is
far.
Darius Garland down? He came back, but he is hobbling. They gonna call timeout. Yup. That's the last thing they need. They started the season. I mean, not season. They started the series banged up. It just injury after injury, just not good for them.
Oh, he made that? Oh, they on that shit right now, bro. Hey, man, shout out to the Pacers, man. Like, people said a lot about them the last couple of years. Like, people didn't get in their credit for last season because they played teams that got injured.
Good shot.
And they had chances against the Celtics last year. I think they ended up getting swept, but they had at least 2 games where they had the lead late and didn't finish. But this is a team that very, very similar to Steve Nash's Phoenix Suns from like 06, 07, 7 seconds or less. They're not necessarily 7 seconds or less, but they're trying to push the pace at all costs at any time.
That running gun.
And if you turn the ball over, they're gone. If you shoot a bad shot, they're gone. Like even if you make a shot, they're going. If you're not disciplined, they're going to score. Like game 1 told me a lot because I did not expect the Pacers to score at the ease that they were scoring.
You said that, and they got a fast break.
Yeah, I was not expecting them to score at the ease that they've been scoring at.
Yo,
but this whole series, they've outside of game 3 when the Cavs ran that zone and had Mobley at the top and Jared Allen at the bottom. And that kind of just like slowed them down a little bit, slowed them down enough for the Cavs to get it going. But the next game, the Pacers went right back to it. Like they had a 41-point lead at halftime. Like this offense, when it's going, it's hard to stop because you don't know. There's no like, oh, this is who they're going to. They could go to anybody. Like Neesmith could give you 17 to 18. Andrew Nembhard is great in the playoffs. He could give you 17 to 18. Tyrese Halliburton could get hot, hit 4 or 5 threes.
Yup.
Siakam could give you 30. Miles Turner could give you 20. Like, they have so many options. Benedict Mathurin had a great game this series. Like, they have so many options, and their offense is so damn fast that you can't really make decisions. You have to make this. You have to make important decisions in a split second. And if you make the
Yeah.
wrong decision, they're going to score. You
Yeah.
said, the girl that broke down about their 3-point shooting. They went nuts from 3 the other night. And game 1 as well. I can't remember specifically at game 2, like what their 3-point shoot percentage was. But I know game 1, they shot the ball really well because we were recording. And I was like, damn, they're making a lot of shots. Like, this is crazy. And
Yo.
then, what's up?
Oh, my fault. I mean, I didn't want to interrupt. Go ahead. You can finish up. You can finish that thought. I just didn't want to forget to start. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, basically they have shot the 3 ball really well, but I think it's more the pace than anything. Like, it's hard to scout that pace. It's hard to practice that pace. And I want to say the Cavs and Pacers played within the last 2 weeks of the season, and I think they went to like OT, like really close game. Things like that give a team confidence, like, oh, we can beat this team. And the Cavs are not an experienced team in the playoffs, so even though they were one of the best teams in the regular season, you still go into the playoffs, you still go into a series. Like, that's why I said the Heat, they have, like, we had the capabilities, or I would say we had the capabilities, but we could have had the right mindset. I don't think we
Yeah.
had the talent to do it, but I think the Pacers had the right mindset, and they had the skill, the talent to go out and be like, hey, they got to beat us. Like, they haven't been to this stage before with this core, with this team. We went to the conference finals last year. Like, we know what it takes to win a series like this. We know what it takes to be in this moment, in this spotlight. And like let's think about this Cavs core. Like, 2 years ago, they lost in 5 to the Knicks, and then last year they were, I want to say, the 8 seed, lost to the Cavs or lost to the Celtics first round, and now this year they're currently down 3-1, down 7 with 3 minutes left in the fourth. Like, it's gonna be a lot of things that the Cavs are gonna have to figure out, because for as good as the regular season they had, losing in the second round it's gotta feel unacceptable for the coaching,
Mm-hmm.
for coaching staff, players, general manager, ownership, like everything. You gotta just be looking like, this really is happening right now. Like, we're really down. We're really
Oh
about
no,
to lose in
Pacers lost in the
5 in the
conference
second
finals
round.
last year.
Yeah, to the Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, they've been there. Like, they got
Yeah.
to
I don't know
the
why
point
I
that the
thought to
Cavs haven't
correct.
gotten
I
to.
don't know why I thought you said. I don't know why I thought to correct you. Listen, don't mind me.
No,
I'm just over here. I'm just over here chatting.
No, I just, like, the Cavs, like, for as good as a team they are, like, I didn't expect this to happen. Like, I didn't think that they were unbeatable. I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't see them getting beat like this. Like, yeah, I don't know. But it's the thing, like, a team gets hot, a team got confidence, like, it's hard to slow them down at that point, bro. And especially when you give games up on your court.
Mm-hmm.
Both Boston and Cleveland did that, gave up both games on your court.
Yeah.
It's hard to turn that around. Like, at least in the Denver and
You playing
OKC
with your
series,
back
like,
against the wall,
they
man.
split it. You split it. You can't
Playing with
give
your
up
back
both
against the
in your
wall.
crib
You playing with your back against the wall, up against
from the
teams that
start.
have great, up against teams that have great home environments.
Yeah. And you call them
That's what
front
you got.
runners. So you give them a lead. All they doing is front running. Make them play from behind. Make them chase you. Now you chasing them. Now all the
Yeah.
pressure's on you because, like, damn, we the one seed. No way we about to lose shit. No way we about to let them do this. And
Like
every
Celtics
game,
showed a
more and
little
more
bit of
pressure.
life in that game 3, but then it's like that game 4. If Tatum finishes that game 4, that game 4 ends differently in my opinion. But I mean, they were in the midst of the run before he got hurt, but it was like what, maybe 4 to 5 minutes left in that quarter.
It was like 3-something. Like 3 minutes 40 seconds type shit.
That's enough time to
The
turn it around.
Celtics are going cold. That momentum is gone. That momentum was absolutely shifted.
They did go cold. They did.
Jaylen Brown couldn't hit shit. Al Horford wasn't even looking at the rim. Drew wasn't looking at the rim. Derek White was the only one outside of Tatum that was making shots, and Tatum had gotten cold at a certain point too. So when OG made that dunk, they went up 9. It would have been hard for them to make that comeback, in my opinion. Damn, Donovan. Oh my gosh. But you were gonna say something.
Yeah. So we're recording again on a Tuesday. Of course, as we record every Tuesday. And the last 2 times we recorded, Tyrese Halliburton said a clutch shot.
Mm.
We recorded again, and it's 2 minutes left in the game. They're up 7, so I don't know if clutch we would be getting a clutch with the Helly moment here, but hey, only time will tell.
It might come into play. That's all I'm gonna say. He might get a chance.
Are we Tyrese Halliburton's good luck charms?
Maybe. But he's also been killing when we not feeling.
No, that's a fact.
I think he's just like that.
Like I said, bro, Hallie one of the ones, bro. He's one of my favorite players in the league at the current moment. Like I said, I'm rocking with bro to the wheels fall off, and the wheels ain't falling off no time soon. No time soon. I realized I didn't say that on wax when I went to go try to find it the other day, and I was trying to find the tweet where I said it, but I realized you said that this is how I feel about this player, just like Bryce said early before we start recording or something like that. And I was like, and then like when we were doing our player of the weeks or player of the nights, I was like, yeah, I'm rocking with bro to the wheels fall off and they ain't falling off no time soon. I never said it took a little while for me to find that tweet. Like I thought it was a clip of me saying
I do remember it now.
I'm saying it right now. We rock with Tyrese Halliburton to the wheels fall off and the wheels ain't falling off for a minute. Tire's good. Just got a fresh rotation. You know what I'm saying? Right before the playoffs.
Motherfucker talking about overrated.
Talking about some damn overrated. Man, overrate these. Anyways, going over to the West. You got the Golden State Warriors down 3-1 on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and you got the Denver Nuggets tied up with the Oklahoma City Thunder 2-2 at this current moment.
He gonna miss all of them?
Hey, who? Oh, you are really.
Did he just go up and miss all them free throws? And then came back and hit that 3. That's crazy. Game could have been tied.
What the hell? Anyways, man, Western Conference Series. We got Timberwolves. Listen, honestly, I got an apology, bro, but I gotta give props to Julius Randle. Julius has been like you mentioned the Knicks trade earlier, and it's crazy how I kind of had a thought when the trade happened. I was like, only time these teams will see each other is regular season, but like where stakes matter, realistically, would we be able to see them in the finals against each other? Whoa, he really did miss all 3 of them trades.
I didn't even realize. I knew he was there, and then I looked down and it was still 100. I was like, hold on, did he miss all 3? That's crazy. And then came down and hit a 3 after that. Like, bro, he'd have made them 3 free throws, the game would have been tied.
Yeah. So he splashed that joint too.
Make your free throws, kids.
Make your free throws. It's important.
Practice your free throws, please.
Listen, that's what I do. That's the first thing I do when I get in the gym. First thing I do when I get in the gym. I don't stop until I make 5 in a row. And I go shoot everything else.
Wow, these boys really about to lose 4-1 at the crib.
Wow. It was a tweet. It was like, yeah, we've been here before, this, that, and that. And somebody quoted, it was like, Glorious son ain't there no more.
Facts. Now, the crazy thing is like, at one point, Donovan Mitchell was rumored to go to New York. New York might get to the finals without ever having to trade for dude.
That was the talks for the longest. Was bringing the New York kid home. He's from upstate New York.
And this is why I say you don't always got to gut your roster for certain players.
Yeah.
Not saying that Donovan Mitchell is a bad player at all. But if you build your team the right way, you don't necessarily have to gut your roster, because one of New York or Indiana is about to go to the finals.
Yeah.
And nobody picked them to go to the finals before the season started. And what's crazy is I'm pretty sure Kenny Beecham said he put like $100 or $200 on the Pacers to win this series just because the odds were crazy. He about to make hella bread. And I thought about it and was like, low key, that's kind of smart. And I didn't do it.
But I say certain odds, like Vegas be sleeping on certain odds of certain teams, bro. Like when we were talking about our
The
WNBA
Knicks
odds last
too.
week. Yeah.
I could have put 100 on the Knicks and 100 on the Pacers and boom, bread. Didn't do it. Because I know if I'd have done it, them boys would have lost in four. Both
I ain't
teams
gonna
would have
lie,
lost in
that's
four.
that. Listen, that be me when I bet. I don't know what it is. Players just forget how to play basketball whenever I put money on it.
Man, I don't even bet, but I just know my luck.
Listen, bro.
Like, nah,
I
them
almost
niggas
had
wouldn't hoop tonight.
the perfect parlay one night, and the Rockets cooked the Warriors so bad. Like I was like, it was that game where they like forced the game. No, not were they up in the series or no? Yeah, they forced the game 7. It was that game, the game 6. They went crazy, and what you call it? Amin Thompson didn't really have to score much. Like he scored like I want to say his over under was like 16 and a half, and he scored like 14 that game. That was the only thing. I was like Steph gonna get the job done elimination game. You know what I'm saying? Like they at the crib. Steph came through. Who else I had on the slip? Other players came through. 'Cause I think it was multiple games that night. But other players did their job. And it was only one player I needed to come through for me. And that would have been cool. But that was the last time I put any money on anything. It might be the last time for a minute too. Bang.
Dagger.
Ooh.
Dagger.
Nah,
The
Tyreek's
Pacers
got
are moving on, folks. The Pacers are moving on to
all
the
that trade Miles
conference
Turner talk,
finals.
man. All that trade all summer been in trade talks. That boy been in the lead, dog.
Yes, they said the Pacers need another guy.
It's
I don't
been
know,
Miles
man.
Turner to the Lakers for the longest.
It really has. It really has. Them
Man.
boys had Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year,
Uh-huh.
top 5
All
regular
stars, I
season
want to make
score,
sure.
highest scoring team in the regular season.
But they had multiple
Losing
all
in
stars. They had 3,
5 in the
right?
second round. Yeah.
Yeah, they had what? Um, what's the name?
Garland,
Spider,
Mobley, and
Mobley,
Mitchell. Yeah.
and yeah.
Wow. They just beat these boys in 5. That is crazy, bro.
Sheesh.
That is crazy. 5? And these were like convincing wins. These wasn't like,
Oh yeah, these ones
damn,
was
we had
no
to hit
like,
buzzer beaters
oh we
every
got buzz
game.
beaters, whatever. No, took care of
Like,
business.
like they were the better team in this series. Like it ain't like, oh,
Yeah,
like there was a game where they had injuries, yes, but they had won a game before that.
yeah.
So it's like, bro,
Shoot. Well, I guess I'll ask this before we move on to the Western Conference, because I mean, we see that the Pacers are moving on to the conference finals. Knicks are getting away from the conference finals. Um, yeah, Pacers are moving to the conference finals. Knicks are a game away from the conference finals. How do you think? Do you think the Pacers have what it takes to match up against the Knicks and win the series,
absolutely.
or do you think it's like how do you view that possible
It's a
matchup?
I think the Knicks had the edge based on talent.
Yeah,
Um Now I will say like Brunson's health is gonna play a key factor because again it's a team that gets up and down constantly and they're going to try to find ways to hunt him. And I think this is a great series for Cat, if I'm being honest. Like this is a series where Cat can really impose his will and really lift his team because like as far as talent level, the Knicks have the edge, but as far as like position for position, they're not that different. Like you have an OG, you have Neesmith, you have Josh Hart, you got Nimhard, you got Mikal Bridges, you got a Siakam, or you can say Miles Turner in terms of like um, you know, option scoring and things like that. And then you got Siakam, you got Cat, and then you got Brunson, you got Halliburton. So I think it's a really fun matchup. It was a fun matchup last year. I don't think either of these teams like each other. I remember when the Celtics swept Indiana, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson went on their podcast. I was like, damn, we could have at least got one. And I was like, I know the Pacers remember that shit. I know they just won that game and they're gonna be like, get the job done so we can beat y'all again.
Yeah.
And this time we can beat y'all while y'all healthy, so there's no excuse.
Hey,
Cause
and the clip is circulating. Jalen Brunson and Tyrese at WWE. The stare
yes,
down,
it
the face
was.
off.
Run
That's been
it back.
circulating. They were like,
Run
"Oh,
it
Adam
back.
Silver, run, please, Adam Silver, please put the script, please get the script, the script."
I'm just saying,
So
WWE got some pool now. Nah, let me chill.
Hey, seems like Triple H and Adam Silver might have been working together, man. Let me find out. Crossover episodes. Let me find out.
I think it's gonna be a really tough series for both teams. I think honestly, I would see it going 7. I think it's a very even matchup. Obviously, and the thing is like late game.
Yeah,
I'm probably taking Brunson over Halliburton, but it's not like
that's not
far
a
and
crazy
away. I'm
take. That's
taking
not a
Brunson.
crazy take. That's not that crazy.
Like I'm taking Brunson, but it's not like, oh yeah, he blowing them boys out the water
Definitively,
in
you
clutch
know,
time.
like yeah, because
Because
hey,
Halliburton makes plays in the clutch, man.
Hallie got that thing too. Best believe he will get cut. Let me stop. I just felt like quoting that, but yeah, nah. What the Halliburton? The Indiana Pacers are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I feel like being a Pacers fan would be underrated because like you've seen team success like with those Paul George teams and
Your
now with
team's
the
really not
Halliburton
bad.
teams. Not a bad franchise, honestly.
Reggie Miller,
Yeah.
and then you had a couple years where it was like Danny Granger, TJ Ford,
Yeah.
and it was like boom, PG, George Hill, David West, Roy Hibbert, Lance Stevenson.
Yeah.
And it was
They
like
always
boom,
build competitive teams. Like
PG, Jeff Teague, Solomon Hill. I don't know why I
like
just
a
said
lot of
Solomon Hill
talk
like he
has
was
been
like that.
I've seen a lot of
Bogdanovich.
content about the Mouse and the Palace team with Steven Jackson, Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal, Jamal Tinsley.
Yep.
And how that team that's a squad.
It really
And
was.
04, that's a squad.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a squad. So I mean, it's not like Indiana be down for a while. Like they even when they were like lower seeds, they were still competitive. I remember, I mean, they got swept by the Heat that one year when they had Victor Oladipo, but like those were all close 4 games.
Cavs.
Cavs, not Heat. Yeah. I know it was against LeBron.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, we can get to the West.
We can get to the West.
Game 5 is about to tip off right
West
now.
Coast, yup. You got Oklahoma City Thunder up against the Denver Nuggets. Thunder taking the last win. Very, very important game. Momentum shifting game. Game 5. Pivotal game 5.
Important game of the series.
Most times whoever wins game 5 wins the series. I don't got the stats. That's what TNT and ESPN have.
Game 5 winner wins 81% of the time. They're 192 and 44.
Okay.
They just put it on the screen. So
that's what I was about to say. I thought
perfect
they
time.
just probably put it on the screen. Yep.
Nah, I just need off the top of the dome for it.
I mean, hey, you just that guy.
That'd be crazy if I knew it off the top of my head.
I
know that, and I can't tell you.
Statistician like that. Sheesh.
I wish
I was
rich.
Too. Exactly. Hit every parlay just off the strength for knowing like, yeah, this player knows this, that, and that. This player does this on these games. This player does that, whatever.
Nah. OKC in Denver has been a really interesting series because it's been like a very back and forth. Like I feel like fans have been so heavy one way and it jumped back the other way. Like after game one, people were talking really bad about J-Dub, and talking about Chet missing the free throws and things like that. Um, you know, the Nuggets and how good they are in clutch time. They talked about how the Thunder only beat them. I think the series, including the games going in, the series including the playoff games going into last game. The Thunder won 4 games, and those were like a margin of like 30 points. And then the games that they lost were like a margin of like 5 or 4 points or something like that. So it's like when it's close, they lose. When it's blowouts, they win. Um, and then they were able to win a close game the other night. So all that talk was just dead quickly. Um, and I think OKC was. I feel like OKC was able to take back momentum with the Game 4 win,
Yeah.
just because they were able to win in a way that Denver normally wins. Like Denver normally pulls out those games where it's like slugfest, not super high scoring, got to make plays at the end of the game. And OKC made more plays. They made more shots. Jokic really struggled from the field. Um, and really, they didn't get like a huge performance from anybody. Aaron Gordon was really good, in my opinion. He's been really good all playoffs.
Phenomenal.
Multiple game winners. He's just been super consistent. His 3-point shot falling at the rate it's been falling is still crazy to me because every time he shoots the ball, I'm like, and then that shit goes in. I'm like, never mind.
You got
MPJ is
Mike
also
don't swing
crazy.
the rock.
That motherfucker pulled everything, bro. I'll be like, swing it,
with a
swing it, swing it,
messed
and
up
he
shoulder.
shoot that shit. And I'll be
He
like,
ain't swinging nothing. He ain't swinging nothing.
but sometimes I go in and I'll be like,
That's Mike don't
hey,
swing the rock.
but yeah, I'm looking at OKC as like this is the time. Like this is the time. Everybody's like, if you don't win this, you gotta trade J-Dub or Chet. And I'm so tired of that. Like I said
I
this
was about to
last
say,
week
I was
with the
looking at your
Houston Rockets.
I was looking at your quote from last week, your clip from last week, because I was about to post it under a tweet, but I didn't get the chance to. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm just tired of like when young teams lose, you gotta just go get this guy. Like when Jordan lost, they didn't trade, you know, they didn't trade his second best player, his third best player to go get like you just get better. Like draft well, pull in free agency, win the next year. Like
Yeah.
this notion that you gotta win right away, you gotta win right now is crazy to me because all these players are young. Obviously, granted, like things can happen, things can change, but these players are super young. Chet is in what, year 3? J-Dub is in year 3. Like you can't just like we got to make this shit happen right now. Like Shea is not even 27, 26 yet. I think he's 26 now.
I think
So
it
it's
might be
like
26.
these players are super young. You still got a lot of talent around them. You got a bunch of draft picks. Like oh yeah, if you want to go get Giannis, you got to trade either J-Dub or Chet. And it's like,
Why you
why
don't go
gut
out
your
to get
roster
Giannis though?
when you already
They don't
have
need a
a core in
Giannis.
place? Just put the right pieces
You got
around
an
it.
MVP candidate, arguably the MVP this year, and then you got a good team around them. Who they've been at this position. They've been top of the East, not East, top of the West for 2 years now. Like, well, I don't think they were a 1 seed last year, but no, they were playing last year, weren't they?
No.
No.
They were. I want to say they got the 1 seed because Minnesota and Denver had to play in the second round, and I think the Nats were the 4 or 5.
Yeah, they're 1 seed again.
Yeah,
I don't know why I thought playing, but
because it was
they're
like a
1 seed
3-way
again.
tie to end the season.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm.
Denver lost. Denver lost to San Antonio when Devontae Graham hit that game-winning shot,
Mm-hmm.
and then Minnesota lost to somebody else late, and they gave OKC number 1 pick or the number 1 seed, and that's when they ended up playing Dallas in the second round instead of one of Denver or Minnesota, and then obviously Minnesota and Denver had to play in the second round, and that's when Minnesota won the 7th. But I say all that to say is like I love Jokic, I love Jamal Murray, I love what the Nuggets do. But I kind of want to see. I just want to see the OKC win. I want to see Ant versus Shea in the playoff series. I
Yep.
want to see just two young teams go at it. Whoever wins gets to the finals, and it'll be in both series. Like if Minnesota and OKC is the conference finals in the West, and then New York and Indiana is the conference finals in the East, there's going to be a new champion. One of those young stars is going to be a new champion, and that's something that you need. And OKC is already out to a 12-2 start. I just don't think people realize. I mean, I don't think people don't realize, but this team is really damn good, bro. Like the playoffs are different. Everything changes from game to game. I get it. But just pretending like,
Dang.
oh, they lost in 6 or they lost in 7 to a team that's won a championship before and has more experience. All right, now we got to go get KD. How many times have we seen players, like I said this last week, how many times have we seen players go get certain players and it not work out? Like I just mentioned the fact that New York was in talks to get Donovan Mitchell. They didn't go get Donovan Mitchell, and now they're 2 games away from another conference finals. So it's like you can't just gut your roster, just change things so quickly because you want to win now. You want to win now. Keep building on what you have, and you'll be able to win for the sustainable future. Like I just don't understand the rush. I don't understand it, especially with the parity in the league right now. Like for the Rockets, all it took was a couple shots going in here and there, and you're in the second round, and who knows what the series looks like against Minnesota.
Yeah, we literally haven't
And
had a repeat champion yet this decade. It's been a new champion every year. A new championship match every year too.
yeah,
It's been
which I think is good.
Lakers Heat. Then it
Hmm.
was Phoenix Milwaukee.
Hmm.
Then it was Boston and Golden State.
Hmm.
Then it was Heat Nuggets, and then
Hmm.
who played Boston last year? Was it? Oh, Dallas and Boston.
Hmm. So we had a couple teams like go multiple times, but never the same matchup, which I feel like is a good thing because you never like the playoffs matter because you don't know who's gonna get there. I mean,
Yeah, and like
people
you
could have been
said,
like, boom, the
it's
Celtics
parity.
gonna win, boom, the Cavs gonna win. We don't gotta pay attention.
And
Oh
you even had
shit,
a playing
it's
team
three
make it
one.
to the finals. You had a playing team make it to the finals, and then before that, you had two playing teams in the conference finals. So the playing works.
Oh, shout out Adam Silver.
Shout out Adam. I still got a little bit of beef because of last night. That's it.
He ain't got shit to do with that, man.
Yeah, you do. You can miss. But
Anyways,
shout out
this
Adam
series
Silver,
has
I
been really
guess.
good in terms of basketball on the court. Um, Looking to see more from Jokic. Like this team, Denver's not winning this series unless Jokic is playing like the best player in the world. If he's playing tired and just, I don't want to say sluggish. I just think there's just there's so much attention drawn to him that it's wearing him down. If they continue to wear him down and wear him down and wear him down, this series is over. They might not even get to step. So, um, I'm looking at OKC like you got to go get this game now, um, and put the pressure on Denver to win at home,
Yep.
for Game 6.
Yep.
And they've come out with the right mentality. They come out with the right intensity and energy through the first couple of minutes. And for Denver, they've been here before. They know, hey, answer that first run, answer that first spurt, where the crowd is going to be. I don't want to say they're loudest, but when they're into the game because the game just started. Um, and then once things start to slow down, you just keep making plays, and the crowd will get quieter and quieter, and then it's just basketball again. Um, so I'm really interested to see how this game goes. We won't know how this game goes before we end recording, but um, yeah, I'm definitely interested to see how this series continues to play out because it's been a good series of basketball on both sides.
Yep. It's now a best of three series, which is always fun to see. Two teams start up game fives, six, sevens, if necessary. But always good because it raises the level of competition. This game that we're watching now, I don't know, I'm kind of paying attention more to like outside, like cat, like what you call it, supporting cast players. Like I'm seeing how Chet Holmgren looks in this game. I'm seeing how like a Christian Braun or Aaron Gordon, who's been phenomenal in the series, or phenomenal in these playoffs. Like it's gonna be because of their play why their team wins. But yeah, you got anything else on Thunder Nuggets?
Um,
Thunder
I'm
Nuggets.
I'm looking, and Denver just scored 6 straight after I said, you got to answer that initial run, that initial flare. So looks like we have a game, at least at this current moment. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, that's all I had on the series. But
Gotcha.
oh wow,
Damn,
good
shout
shit,
out
chat.
Michael Porter Jr. though. He's playing through the injury. He's like, bro, forget it. It's
Yeah,
the
for sure.
playoffs, bro. Like,
Shout
and
out
he's
Russ too.
and he's shooting that thing.
Yeah, that's a fact. Shout
Yeah,
out
shout
Russ
out
too,
Russ
because
too though.
Russ has been
Shout
playing
out
really
Russ.
well, shooting the ball
High
really
motor.
well,
Yup.
making the right plays. Obviously, he's
Yup.
gonna have some plays
You
where
can
you're
see
like,
his
all right, bro,
decision
you
making
should.
has improved, or should I say matured, at this point in his career.
I think it's still the same guy. They just believe in him more.
Yeah.
Like Jokic doesn't hesitate to swing it to him if he's open on the 3-point line,
Yeah.
and that's big. It felt like when he was with the Lakers and the Clippers, if he missed a
Yeah.
three, it was
It's
like
like we're
the
not
end of
getting
the
back
world.
to him. Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, like he
It's
missed
like
another
both
one.
the it's like the
With
Lakers
Denver, they
organization
like if
and the
he
Lakers
missed two,
fans
he gonna
giving
make that
out
third
Russell
one.
Westbrook. Yep. It's like
And I think
he
it was
won,
different
but
with the
he
Clippers and
clutch.
than the Lakers. Like with the Clippers, they liked
Take a
him there.
shot.
I just don't think they empowered him as much as Denver has. Like Jokic is the
Yeah,
one that
no.
was like, no, I want Russell Westbrook on my team.
Yeah.
Like y'all need to go get him. Do what you need to do to go get him. And when the best player wants a player on the team, like really, really wants a player on their team, they're gonna make it work, regardless of
Yep.
what their deficiencies are. They're gonna make it work, and that's why Jokic is the player that he is because no matter who you put out there with him, he finds a way to make those players better. Whether it was his one MVP year where Jamal was out, um, MPJ was out, and it was like Monte Morris, Campazzo, and you just throwing dudes out there, and he still was finding ways to win games with those guys. So, shout out Russ, man. Shout out Jamal. Jamal's. It feels like he's on the cusp of having one of those games, but he hasn't yet.
Mm.
In this series, at least.
Jordan, take your pick. You seen that meme?
No.
It's like Jamal Murray deciding what version of Jordan he wants to be today. And it's like you got Michael Jordan, you got Jordan Poole, you got Jordan Clarkson, and you
Yeah,
got
no,
Jordan Crawford.
that's crazy.
Oh
But
man.
no,
And then it's like
yeah,
from game to game,
that's
it's
all I
like
had on
we are
series.
here.
But no, that's all I have for
Boy.
that series.
Where Minnesota and Golden State, we kind of started talking about the series before we kind of got distracted by the ending of Indiana and Cleveland. I mentioned that Julius Randle's having a hell of a series. Anthony Edwards is having a hell of a series. Rudy Gobert's playing well. You got Jay McDaniels and Oz Reed, who have been great supporting cast members. Got Mike Conley, who's been a great veteran presence out there, helping run the offense. Ultimately, man, this is team's great. Dante DiVincenzo, I'll be remiss if I leave him out of this talk in this conversation. But I mean, they're one game away from the conference finals.
Yeah. Shout out to Minnesota as a whole. Like
Mm-hmm.
Ant is 100% their leader and the guy that makes them go. But Julius Randle doing what he's done this playoffs, both in the Lakers series and in this series. Last night, Ant really struggled in the first half again.
Yeah,
And Julius Randle had 19 points in the first half. Like kept him afloat, kept him in the game, and was just like, all right, when Ant's ready to go, he's ready to go. Jaden McDaniels has been great on both ends of the floor
you got Jaden
throughout the
McDaniels.
entire playoffs. Uh, Rudy Gobert was really good at different times in the last series, especially at the game 5. And then in this series, he's been a huge difference maker in terms of just forcing Golden State to try to play with size to try to match it. But like, say what you want, Rudy Gobert does what he does well. He does exceptionally well.
Yeah.
The things that he does poor, he does really poorly. But the things that he does well, he does at a Hall of Fame level. So you got to give him his respect there. Dante DiVincenzo is always ready for the moment, always ready for whatever the team needs. He's ready to come out there and make a play for somebody else. He's ready to come out there, hit a three. He's ready to get to the rim. Um, he struggled to start the season, but he found his rhythm and is really helping the team. Nikhil Alexander Walker is really good as well. He threw a lob last night that I was super impressed with.
Yeah. So
And
Nikhil.
just having somebody that can come off the bench and make plays like
Ooh.
that with size and can defend is uber important. So
Ooh.
um,
We can have
definitely want to
cousins
shout out
going
to
up
them.
against each other.
Yep.
Cousin against
It's
cousin in the conference finals.
and then obviously it's a little disappointing for the Warriors as Steph got hurt and
Yeah.
won't
Game
return
one.
until Game 6 if that happens. Minnesota has a Game 5 at their house to end the series. Um, and that's like a possible. We still don't even know if for sure Steph Curry will be able to come back. His
It
hamstrings
gets
injuries,
reevaluated.
there's no real timetable. Right, that's when he gets reevaluated. But everybody keeps saying it like that's when he'll be back. Um,
And that's a
Now,
hamstring we talking about too at this point
as for the
still.
Warriors, I would be pretty. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be pretty disappointed if I was a fan and if I was a part of the organization, and probably if I was Steve Kerr as well, because like one Draymond is gonna be in the Hall of Fame, but
Yeah.
when Steph Curry is not on the court and is not playing, he looks like a completely different player. Like the defense is
Mm-hmm.
still there, obviously, but everything else just looks way different, way worse.
Yeah.
Like the year that Steph was hurt for the season, Draymond found reasons not to play, in my opinion. Like he's like, oh, he hurt, boom, I'm gonna take the surgery. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
out for the season. Like you was not trying to play a season without Steph. Um, and why I said they might be disappointed is they made a trade for a guy and are paying. They're about to pay that dude almost or like around 60 million, over $60 million,
Sheesh.
and at different points of this series, he's just not been the player
Been
that
the
you would
player
hope
that
he would be.
needed him to be. Yeah.
Like when Steph is out, you got to be aggressive. You got to go make plays. Like especially when the other players on your team that are not expected to make plays have made enough plays to keep you in the game. That's when you got to say, all right, I got to go take over and go win this shit.
Yeah.
And I gotta go get us enough games to get Steph back into it. And it just feels like he just is so passive at times. Like he'll get to the rim and just pump fake, pump fake, pump fake, pass out. Get to the rim, jump stop, pass out. Like it's not like you're passing to Klay Thompson. You're not passing to Ray Allen. You're not passing to um, Kyle Korver, JJ Redick. Like no disrespect to them dudes on the Warriors, but you're passing out to Moses Moody. You're passing out to Kuzemski. You're passing out to Gary Payton. It's like there's just no reason to not be aggressive. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Um,
I wholeheartedly agree.
and I was listening to the numbers on the board earlier, and they were saying like, "Oh, it's been a long time since we've seen Jimmy do that." I vehemently disagree. Jimmy did that shit 3 years in a row. Can we stop acting like Jimmy didn't do that shit for the Heat for a long time? Like he did shit in the bubble.
He did that.
He
He
did that
did it
shit
in
in
the finals.
2022. We lost in Game 7 because he shot the three and he missed it. And then in 2023, he beat the Bucks and he beat the Celtics to get to the finals. All three of those playoff runs were on the back of Jimmy. Obviously, he had help from the guys like Caleb Martin,
Yeah. Gabe
Bam,
Vincent.
Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Goran Dragic in the bubble, Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson in the bubble. But it's like
Yeah.
I don't understand why people act like he's not capable of doing it, or it's been a long time since he did it. He only missed one playoff. He missed the playoffs last year. Like that was it. when he played in the playoffs, we won.
Yeah.
There was 1 year where we didn't get out of the first round. That's when we played Milwaukee in the first round, and we lost, I think, in 5 or something like that. And that was the year that he was like, I'm stupidly locked in, and we lost, and people made that shit mean whatever. Every other year, we've gotten to the conference finals or the finals. So I really was confused by that. And I was looking at the comments and nobody even said anything about it. So I was like, maybe I'm tripping. But I'm like, fuck no, I'm not. Like, I know it's my team, so I'm thinking about it from a different perspective. But at the same time, it's like, if we all cover the game, that's 3 fucking years where they either went to the conference finals or the finals. So I don't understand how it's like, oh, that shit isn't real. Like that playoff Jimmy stuff, that's been a long time. It's only been 1 season since we've seen it.
Yeah.
And granted, he's older, but it's like I don't think that shit is gone. I just don't think he wants to do it, and that's a problem, bro. Like, and that's why Pat Riley wasn't gonna pay him. Pat Riley was like, "You don't seem like a type of guy that wants to keep doing that for years and years." And the Warriors were desperate. They needed somebody to come help them. They needed somebody to change their season. And granted, when Steph is on the court, Jimmy Butler's been great. They, as a team, they've been phenomenal. They've been one of the best defenses and one of the best offenses since he got there. But this is what you get him for. I know everybody's like, no, you get him for when they're both on the court. Obviously, you get him for when they're both on the court. But you also get him for when Steph is not playing. And this doesn't mean when he's hurt. This also means like when he's on the bench for an extended period of time. Jimmy Butler is good enough to carry the load and keep the team in the game or get the team a win. He's good enough to beat this Timberwolves team to, and I'm not saying win the whole fucking series. I'm saying to win a game. He's good enough to win a game. And
Win a
it's just
game to give your
disappointing to
guys
see
a
dude
chance
just
of having Steph Curry
not
back
give
on the
the
floor.
full effort I feel like he can give.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know, just something about this Warriors team that just feels off. Like they get to a point where they start losing and then it's like they do nothing to help themselves. They get into foul trouble, they make bad
This team
plays,
is nasty, low key.
and it's not good.
Steph is just that damn good to where this
Yeah.
team, like they're a great defensive team, but
Mm-hmm.
offensive, this team is nasty, bro. Like
Yeah.
this team is nasty, and they find ways to score because they're NBA players, and
Yeah.
Steve Kerr's got a good enough system to help teams score
Like I
or
want to
help
say who
players
was it?
get to
Jonathan
the
Kaminga
spots. But
had a good game the other night.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's
if
not
if
random. I mean,
y'all
it just
banking on
seems
that
random
shit, we
because it's
living.
not. I don't want to say
Yeah,
it might be random. It might seem random. Okay, the law might seem random, but because you got Steph Curry on the court for most of the season, he's the one
right.
to get. He's the primary option. You don't see Jonathan Kaminga get the ball a lot. You don't see Moses Moody get the ball a lot. Brandon Podziemski, he gets the ball a decent amount, but like with Jimmy on the team now, he not as big as an option he was before. Buddy Hield. So ultimately, though,
They need Game
I think
7,
this
but yeah,
season is over. I think this season is done.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they were winning regardless, but
Nah.
I don't want to say regardless. I had Minnesota winning, but I will say like this game, like Minnesota cannot play with their food at all
No.
because just don't give
Then
don't
going
give
back
other teams
home.
ammunition. Don't play an extra game
Yeah.
where bad things could happen. Like just win game 5, stay at the crib, rest up, get ready for
Take
whoever wins the
advantage of
next
your
series
home court
because
advantage that you
this shit
have
could go
because you
7.
guys do not have home court advantage again. Like this is the
I
one
mean,
off
if
time where you
Denver,
guys
oh
got
no,
home
they
court
wouldn't. No, I
advantage.
forgot they
No, because
6.
they're in 6 seed.
Yeah, they're 6. I forgot.
Yeah, because Warriors were the what 7? Or, yeah, they're 7 seed because they played. Yeah, so Warriors were 7 seed. They beat the Rockets.
I
Only
disagree with
time
that.
that they got, huh?
He said the NBA is buns. NBA needs more Josh Hart in the league sometimes. Someone who is actually willing to play a role. I think there's a lot of guys that are willing to play roles. Like guys like
Yeah,
Aaron Gordon,
yeah,
Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, all playing
yeah.
roles. Westbrook at this point.
Playing a
Um,
role. That's some wide
I
receivers
think
as
I
well.
think
Yeah,
that problem. I
Derek
think that
White plays a
problem
role.
that's definitely a problem. I would say I think that's definitely a problem for the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
but that's because there's no structure. You don't know who the best player is there.
I mean, you got the best teams in the league where those guys have no choice but to buy in. Like if they don't
Hmm.
buy in, they're not playing at the level that they're going to be playing at. Like obviously, you would think a guy like Aaron Gordon would be a higher option on a different team, but how far is that team getting with him at that one option?
Yeah,
How
I
far
think it goes
is
like the
a
teams
team
that are
getting with
left
Derek
all have
White
those
as a
players.
one option? How far the team getting with Josh Hart as a one option? How far the team getting with Mikal Bridges as a one option? Like those guys exceed in their roles because they have a role set for their team and they're built on, big on playing and um, um, being exceptional at their role.
Yeah, I feel like you can tell which teams have that. Like when you look at Indiana, you got it in Neesmith, Nimhard,
Yep.
T.J. McConnell. All those players know their roles. They know exactly what they're doing, and
Yep.
they're willing to do it. Even Obi Toppin, a guy who was a top pick in the draft um, a couple years ago, got had to go to a new team and is has found a role that works for him.
Yep.
Obviously, the Celtics have a ton of guys that are playing a role really well. The Knicks, like besides Josh Hart, there's also OG, there's Mikal. Like
Yep. Yep.
those guys are playing a role. They're playing a part. Minnesota with DiVincenzo, Jaden McDaniels, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Mike Conley, like all those guys are playing roles that are contributing. OKC's got guys like Isaiah Joe, Caruso, Hartenstein, Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, like all those guys are playing roles. Um, I think it's more so like the bottom 10 teams because again, there's no structure. You don't know who your best player is. Like with
Mm-hmm.
the Rockets, you had Dylan Brooks, got Steven Adams. You got guys like Jabari Smith Jr. who have decided like they like okay like things Tari Eason like things haven't gone exactly the way they had planned in their careers earlier in their careers, but they found a way to contribute to winning. Golden State, like while we said like we just said the offense is nasty, you got guys like Pajemski who is willing to play a role. I wouldn't say Kaminga is willing to play a role because I think we've seen and heard that he really doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But
No.
Moses Moody plays a role.
Yep.
Kevin Looney, probably one of the best at playing a role.
Listen,
Um,
role player. You know what I'm saying? An integral part to all them championship teams.
yeah, I see what he's saying, but I don't think for
Yeah.
like the top 15-ish team, maybe like top 10 to 12, all those all those teams have it, and you can tell when teams don't have it. Like, and sometimes you can have it, and they're just not good at that role. I
Yeah.
think that's a part of it. Like his team is the Lakers. Like I can see where he's saying that because a guy like Rui Hachimura is trying to play a role, but he might not be the best at it. Dorian
Yeah.
Finney-Smith knows what his role is and has been playing that role for years and years,
On
so
every
he's
team he's
good at
been
it.
on.
But there's guys that are trying to play a role and also trying to contribute to winning and trying to better their careers at the same time. Like they're trying to get another year. Like Detroit. Detroit had a bunch of players that knew exactly what their role was. Tobias Harris knew what his role was. Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., like Dennis Schroeder. The reason they were so good is because those players knew their role. Kate Cunningham was able to do his thing, and it helped the team tremendously, and they ended up getting to the playoffs. So um, I see what he's saying, but I would disagree with like the top 10 to 12 teams. Probably the
Yeah.
bottom 10 I would agree with, and then that middle part of the league, it depends on what team, in my
Depends
opinion.
on what team and really just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, because I mean, like he's right for like the Hornets, Wizards, which I think the Wizards are. I don't say they're good, but the Wizards are just missing like a guy or two. Like they've
Yeah.
got a bunch of good role players
Yeah.
that are trying to be star or trying to be like number one options because they don't have a one option right now. I would say the same thing for the Jazz. They have guys that play some roles well. They have some guys that have to force things because they don't have guys that can be a one option. So
They got to get things
um,
going.
and then like teams like the Hornets, like yeah, they definitely don't have players trying to play a role. They're all trying to get theirs.
Yep,
But I think even the Nets, like the Nets had a bunch of guys that played a role this year, and that's why they were
yeah,
winning for a good part of the season because they had guys that knew what they were supposed to do, and they did that to high standard.
they
Um,
did. Shout out to Jordy Fernandez too. He's good with young talent.
yeah,
Coaching the Canadian national team. Um, I think in terms of the Nets, there's a lot of guys that were I don't know because there was no sense of direction except for the draft. So you had guys that kind of played up their value, or you had guys that played like, hey, I could be an integral part to this team. Like I can be a big part of this team. Like like I could see Cam Johnson being a piece, like a future piece for the Nets if they choose to build around him. Um, or he could be like one of those, like I mentioned, he could be like in a similar role like he was in Phoenix and be one of those big role players that stepped up and help a contending team like push them over the edge. Um, I know you give me flat for Cam Thomas, but I mean if Cam Thomas played like a set role, like and became like a I don't know, it just depends on the talent. If they have like a big talent there, like what other role players would you want to keep around that's like said talent? Um,
yeah,
you got Darren Sharp who's developed a lot this season. You got Nick Claxton he was iffy this season, but yeah, guys just really played a role and they really fed the hot hand different times throughout the season. Like you had a couple Tyrese Martin games. You had a Drew Timmy game. He had a game winner. Um, but definitely though, role players are important, or accepting your role is important. You know, like I think the best example of that was Devin Burko on the USA team this past summer. Where I mean, obviously Booker's a star, but you're on a
right,
team with a lot of stars, legends, Hall of Famers. You gotta play your role in that. Book knew this wasn't his team. He playing under Steph Curry. What other guards is on that squad? You know, Ant was on that squad. Drew
mhm.
Holiday, or just like
David
just
Webb.
different vets in general. You know, you playing around these vets, and it's like you know you're not the primary option, but what can I do to help us all out? Because we're all one team here. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But again, I see what
Um.
Pete's saying. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Like we said, man, people don't like basketball for real. Because if they did, we would have better conversation about the game. But that's why me and Tariq are here. So yeah. Um WNBA season starts Friday. We'll be on here live. We got a live preview show on Thursday with some special guests. Um and then we live streaming Friday, watch party.
I'm free.
I mean I am too, but I don't know. Because I'm gonna have like multiple screens.
Uh,
I don't know, bro. But I thought that the plan was, but I don't know. I just know I'm gonna be locked in. That's why I know. I'm gonna be locked in. It's gonna be a good season. You got Paige Beckers, her rookie season. Um, you got what other rookies, standout rookies out there? Dominique Malonga. You got Kiki Ariafin, and Sonya Citron out in Washington. Um, Maddie Westbelt is on the Chicago Sky. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Maddie Westbelt made the squad. Haley Van Lith made the squad as well. Um, trying to think who
Tahina
else was there. Tahina in Atlanta. I love that.
cooking,
I cooking. I think she fell.
frying.
I felt like she fell in the right like place. As of right now,
Yeah, they need guard
it's
play.
looking well. They do need guard play.
Yeah,
They need the charisma she brings on and off the
and
court. Like she
shooting
just kind of just shooting.
because they really
Like
haven't had
that's a
shooting from
like
that point
right
guard
player,
spot for a
right
while.
place kind of situation there. Near Liberty are back. with a big bad squad. They got Natasha
Marine
Cloud,
back in it
Isabel
bit.
Harrison. I was saving the best for last.
Fuck that. Marine back in it bit.
Marine is back in the bit. Listen, I'm lit. I gotta find a Marine Johanna shirt somewhere. I'm
She
on a
on my
budget.
fantasy
So
team, so
so
you know I'm in.
Jersey.
You know I'm lit.
Oh my gosh. I don't even want to talk about that, bro. God, that literally was, listen, Tariq is next pick, all right? Because every time I had a pick that I was gonna make, Tariq made it before me because he was before me in draft position.
Hey man, on the other way, he was in front of me. Only player that I wanted that somebody took was Maddie Stevens, and they took her like third round, I think. I was
Listen,
like,
man, I
yeah,
thought
you
I
gonna
was gonna
take
be
her
able to
that
get
early? You
Angel at
got it, bro.
10. I thought I was gonna be able to get Angel at 10 at least.
Mm-mm. Once they
And she
said
went like
extra points for
7 or 8.
doubles, there was no way she was going
And I was like, yeah, I was definitely
below
gonna get
8.
Angel for that.
Yeah,
Listen, man, I
listen,
don't
once
think
they
I
said
picked.
double doubles,
I
get
don't think
extra
I
2 points.
picked in that league. I don't think I picked above 5. I've always had a later pick.
I've never picked that early. I think last year I ended up with Sancho. I think I ended up with
And I'm
Sabrina
always
and
picking
Kayla.
that work.
Yeah, Sabrina and Kayla last year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm always
Sancho
pick. You always get Salted for some reason.
every time. Because
Yeah, yeah, nah.
she's always lower on ADP than she should be. So I'm like, all right, I
Always,
can save
yeah.
her for a round.
That
Because I
should have
was
been my
like,
second pick,
I was like,
honestly.
I
Who
was
was
like,
my first pick? My
Paige
first pick
won't get
was
back to me, so I
KP,
took her first pick.
or was it John
No, your
Quell?
first
I
pick
think my first
was
pick was John
Jonquil,
Quell.
and then
And
you got
I could
KP.
have picked Sawtooth second.
But you did.
I didn't because I wasn't thinking because I was on the freaking clock. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I would say I got it too, but I was just like I was forced to take my break at the time I took my break. I wanted to take my break at 7 o'clock for the draft. I was told I needed to take my break at 6:30. This was a 15-minute break. It's not even a lunch break. So I'm just like, bro, can I take it at 7? And they're like, no, we got the schedule set for a certain time. Da, 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 da. I'm just like, all right, man, y'all got it, bro. Y'all got it. And I text you, I said, bro, if I lose this year, blame the job.
Hey man, as long as you do your lineups and you're looking at the waiver wire, you got
I'm
a
about to
chance to
say,
win
I'm about to
because
be
9 times out of
on
10,
that.
the
I'm
draft
about to
lineup you
be
chose will
on
not be the same.
that. It won't be. But with W, free agency pool is just not it. You know, like it's
Not in
just
the
not.
deep league, man.
Not.
Not in the
It's
deep league,
not
man.
it, bro.
There is, but I'm not going to tell you
Yeah.
because there's like 4 or 5 players that I'm like, all right now. And there's one player that's not even on ESPN right now. Like they're not even on the fantasy app. Like I typed their name in during the draft, wasn't up there. And I'll tell you
Crazy.
because I don't think you're gonna think about it. It was Mignet Torre for Golden State.
Mm.
During the draft, I was watching their preseason game and she low-key started cooking. I was like, all right, let me go put her on the watch list. She is not on there. Or actually in the draft, I was
Mm.
gonna put her in the queue and I had like 5 players I was choosing between. And then I was like, all right, maybe they just
Hopefully
didn't
that
see her in
gets
the
updated
draft.
by
So I
Friday.
went look, it's not on there.
Hopefully that gets updated by Friday because it got players that retired, like officially retired, still on there. Like I saw
Bro,
Lacey
Charlie
Clear in there.
Collier on the list. I'm going down there and Charlie Collier. I'm like, bro,
You saw Charlie Collier on there. That's
yes.
crazy.
That's
I
how far
saw.
I was going down.
I
I'm
said
like, bro,
I
I'm going
saw
down because they're gonna give a lot of people a zero that are
or
gonna
just
play.
random. Yeah, I
That's why I don't
saw.
listen to
I
the
think I
ADP.
saw who was. I think I saw someone that was like out for the season on there.
Mm-hmm.
A couple people that are out for the season. I know I saw Lacey Clarendon on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
Somebody drafted her.
they're.
They drafted her and Kennedy Carter because
Oh
they
yeah,
was at
Kenny Carter.
work.
That was
They
another
didn't
one.
get
That
the
was
draft.
the other one. That was the other one that I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah, crazy,
they drafted both of them.
crazy. Or was that the auto pick team?
Yeah,
Okay, that was the team that got auto picked. Okay,
yeah.
I
He was
want to
at
say
work
that.
and couldn't draft.
Yeah. Listen, bro, I'd be damn if I would like I said, I was drafting on the clock before I let somebody auto draft for me. I never auto drafted a team in my life. And I ain't about to pick Daystar auto drafted. But yeah,
But
anyways,
yeah,
man, thank y'all for tuning into another episode of the Hoodie Headband Podcast Show. We back I mean, you'll catch us throughout this week with different previews. The rest of our previews are coming out this week up until start of the WNBA season. We got Thursday night season preview with some guests. So be on the lookout for that. Tap in right here on the Multiplicity Media Network YouTube channel. And tap into, just everywhere you see us, man. Everywhere you see us. We on Instagram, we on TikTok, we on Twitter. Tap in with us, log in with us. So
Share, like, comment, subscribe, do all
all
those
that,
things that people with
all
much
that,
bigger platforms tell y'all to do.
all that. We are
Just saying.
9
That shit
subscribers
free.
away.
What P
We are,
say?
it's free,
It costs nothing to subscribe, but it's just a button. Click that shit.
right? It don't cost nothing. Show
Shit.
some love.
One of my kids asked me, "It's like, oh, we gotta pay to subscribe." I said, first of all,
No,
I'm not letting y'all subscribe. I'm not telling y'all what my channel is, but
yeah,
no, it does not. It does not cost anything.
no.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna find it. I said, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Man,
Because
you
I
could
don't
get
talk kid
9
friendly on
kids
here.
to subscribe, and we
I
make
don't
it
talk kid friendly
500.
on here, bro. No, I'm not doing that.
Then change that.
I'll do that when I leave a job. I'll do it when I leave
Change
a job.
that. Change your verbiage, man.
Man, I'm me, bro.
Nah,
I
I
gotta
feel
be
that.
me.
I feel
I
that,
can't
bro. I feel that.
for 12 hours of the day.
12 hours.
I mean,
Damn.
I start my work day at 6:30. I don't necessarily work from 6:30 to 6:30, but my work day
But
doesn't
I
end
mean,
until 6:30 p.m.
yeah. Damn.
So for that time period, my verbiage is completely different. So when I
Yeah.
6:30 hit, I clock out.
It's
I'm
like
saying whatever
a
I want.
release.
As soon as they walk out the door, I'll be like, "Fuck!" No, I'm just kidding.
That's crazy, sir. That's wild.
But no, I do need to. I always say I do need to walk it back, but I
What if
do
I
want to
what if
get to a
I
point to where like my kids can't watch this.
what if I made a swear jar?
Then you gotta make a non-swear jar.
A non-swear jar?
Yeah, every episode that I don't cuss at all, I get bread.
Oh. Mm.
Yeah, come on now,
Mm.
come
Listen,
on
I
now.
ain't big
Incentive.
ball. I ain't big balling like that. But
Neither am I. That's why I ain't trying to do it.
listen, we could be big balling soon if people get us 500. So
Hey,
if you rock with us for real, send us to a friend or a friend of a
I know what to
friend,
do, man.
and get us to 500 because we got
Just tell them hit the
9
button.
more.
They don't even gotta watch the stuff. Just hit the button.
Exactly.
Just hit the button and then
Just
don't.
hit the button. Dre, share the page with 9 people. Send it in your group chat
For
or
real.
something.
For real.
He said he got
Tell them
me.
boys
But
subscribe.
anyways, man, thank you for tuning in to another great episode of the Hoodie Headband Podcast Show. This was a good one. We had some good conversation throughout the episode. So yeah, be on the lookout. Like we said, we got more previews this week. No live show this week. Ahead of the WNBA season starting. Excited for this upcoming season. Gonna be doing a lot more content. Just a lot, bro. Just another great season, man. I'm just looking forward. I like good basketball.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, thank you for
You already
tuning
know
in.
what it is. Appreciate y'all.